in. Don is actually already here, the mayor of Social Taco. Landrum Roberts along with Pat Smith, Molly Robinson, Conrad Van Order along momentarily. Pat, how are you? Happy Tuesday.
I'm doing very well, Landrum. Hope you are well. I know outside does not look very Chamber of Commerce-like, but we expect a good crowd, as always, here at Social Taco.
There's always a good crowd, and hopefully the rain, we could use a little bit of rain, but it doesn't look like we're going to get too many downpours, maybe some spotty showers. So that is your Tuesday weather update.
So Jason Caldwell was on our program yesterday morning from Auburn Undercover, and he gave us an indication that there could be some news on the Malcolm Simmons front, and it did happen yesterday afternoon. The legal matters have now been dismissed of the Auburn wide receiver after being cleared by Auburn's Title IX to participate in team activities. The sophomore wide receiver has now been cleared of all wrongdoing in his legal matters after his case was dismissed on Monday afternoon. He applied for youthful offender status last Friday at his hearing with Judge Samantha Copeland reviewing the case over the weekend. Yesterday, the case was officially dismissed and will no longer be pursued. Simmons, if you remember, he was arrested in Lee County on charges of domestic assault with strangulation or suffocation. He has been practicing with Auburn since preseason camp opened on July 30th. As head coach Hugh Freeze said, Simmons was cleared based on the information that I've been given from our campus administration who have knowledge of the matter, end of quote. And yesterday, legally speaking, it was put to bed.
Yeah, we speculated when he was out on the practice field and he was able to fully participate, not doing little side punishment things. Wondered, all right, well, we don't know the details. We're never going to know all the details of this case, but given the allegations and the circumstances, Auburn allowing him to go out there and fully participate, not saying that they knew all the facts of the case, but they had definitely, in my opinion, talked to folks that were in the know, and they felt good about their decision to go ahead and let him hit the practice field.
Well, one thing's for sure. I mean, once Auburn cleared him from an Auburn Title IX standpoint and he was on the field, you felt that Auburn felt really good about allowing him access, to the practices. So, with that being said, Malcolm Simmons, as far as we know, the situation is finished. It's done, and he's a member of the football team and full steam ahead.
Well, and how it relates to this football team for Hugh Freeze in 2025, it was not going to be a deal breaker, in my opinion, but to have Malcolm Simmons out there, another threat, another guy that the defenses have to worry about, and then you add him to Singleton, you add him to Cam Coleman. I want to see, and I think Auburn fans want to see Hugh Freeze this offense at full potential, at max capacity. So looks like we're going to see that at least for game one in Waco.
So Auburn is off. They are not practicing today, so they will be back at it tomorrow. We heard from offensive coaches yesterday from Auburn, and we'll hear a little bit what Derek Nix and obviously Kent Austin have to say about the Auburn offense a little bit later in the show. The other news of the day, no big surprise. We kind of hinted about this yesterday on Three-Man Front. I was told yesterday morning that Ty Simpson had been communicated that he was going to be the starting quarterback, and all of a sudden the national media started jumping on this as a huge story yesterday afternoon that Ty Simpson was the starting quarterback. Like, I'm not being ugly here, but this was not a quarterback competition. Does that make sense? This was not Jalen Hurts going up against Tagovailoa. Okay, let's just call it the way it is. And so I was told yesterday morning that it was communicated to Ty that he had won the job as QB1. And then it was just kind of laughable how the media nationally started breaking news. Ty Simpson is named the starting quarterback at Alabama. Sources tell us. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, they know that it's going to get clicks because Alabama is one of those programs that people are going to gravitate to now that we get closer to the college football season. And I can think of other cases where you knew who the Ohio State starter was going to be, but Ryan Day wanted to make it official, and then you get one of those headlines. But good news for Ty Simpson. Not saying that he hasn't earned it. This is not a, hey, you've been loyal, we're going to give you the job. He's the best quarterback in their eyes, and Ryan Grubb's eyes, and Kalen DeBoer, and I think a lot of Alabama fans' eyes, just based on the inexperience behind him. But for Ty Simpson, now that it is official, you go out there and you take command of this team. Make it yours.
He will become the first Alabama quarterback in 21 years to make his first career start on the road, a true road game. For $1 million, can you tell me who the last Alabama quarterback was?
I will. Is it during my lifetime?
Yes. It was 21 years ago.
It was 21 years ago.
21 years ago.
The
last Alabama quarterback to start his first career game. I'll even give you another hint.
Was it?
They played at
Brody
Arkansas.
Croyle?
They played at Arkansas.
It was not Brody Croyle.
It was not Brody Croyle.
Was it John Parker Wilson?
It was not John Parker Wilson.
It was not Tyler Watts.
It was not Tyler Watts.
Andrew Zhao.
It was not Andrew Zhao.
Brian Bergdorf.
It was not Brian Bergdorf.
Danny Woodson.
It was not Danny Woodson.
Gilmer.
No.
Who was it?
Don't tell me it was like Joe Namath or something.
No, it was 21 years ago is what he's saying.
Oh, it was 21 years ago.
Yeah, 21 years ago. Alabama lost the game 27-10. I'm going to give you his stats.
And it wasn't Brody Croyle?
It was not Brody Croyle.
Was it Brandon?
Nope. Nope. Alabama lost the game 27-10. The quarterback that I'm trying to get you guys to tell me who it is, he went 6 of 18 for 57 yards, no touchdowns, and 1 interception. Alabama lost the game 27-10 at Arkansas. You're not going to get it. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
I mean, I was doing a daily talk show, and I had to do a double take when I saw his name. Mark Gillen.
Well, that's a fun trivia question.
Yep. You can win. You can win a lot of bar bets on that one.
That might be one of Rodney's trivia questions this football season.
This kid, he was a California native.
G-Mac was trying to help me out, too. Thank you, G-Mac.
California native. He was a top 50 prospect in the 2002 class. He spent the first 2 seasons at Miami. He did not start. He transferred to Bama. He replaced Brody Croyle after an injury early in the 2004 season. Gillen lasted 2 games as the starter before giving way to Spencer Pennington. And then Gillen eventually left the Tide in 2006.
God, I forgot about Spencer Pennington.
Yeah. So there you go. So just remember that the next time you're at a bar and you want to get a free drink. Because I guarantee you nobody's going to know that answer.
Like a lot of Alabama
Gillen.
fans, I conveniently forget the Shula era, and it just all starts with it's like it's Ray Perkins, Gene Stallings, and then a little bit of DeBose.
I think a lot of
Shula
Alabama
era, just forget about it, and then it all started with Saban.
Yeah, sure did. All right, joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline, it's our good friend Mike Griffith from DogNation.com. Also covers the Southeastern Conference for the AJC. Mike, we were just talking about how Ty Simpson is going to become the first Alabama quarterback in 21 years to make his first career start on the road. The last one to do it was Mark Gillen. How about that, against Arkansas in 2004? Did you know that answer?
I didn't. I'm trying to think, though. Nick Saban, typically, he really didn't play a whole lot of road games, especially to open the season, did he? So there were some neutral site games.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, he didn't want this home. Yeah, that didn't have, his scheduling was a little different. But, that's interesting. But speaking of Shula, I mean, he's in the SEC right now coaching.
That's right. South Carolina OC. Alabama fans are going to get to see him right there in person in Columbia.
The North Sellers quarterback coach. So that was a pretty good game last year, as I recall. Better than I expected, frankly.
That was the game, Mike. That was the game going into the fourth quarter. Ryan Williams had been targeted 4 times.
Well, he was only 17 years old last year.
Well, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Oh, but he grew up in that Georgia game there.
You got child labor laws. I think that's what you're referencing there.
Good Lord. Everybody in the stadium knew the ball was going to him, and Georgia couldn't stop him. That was amazing. That's got to be certainly that's Kalen DeBoer's signature win to this point.
I think it goes without saying, Mike. Yes.
But no question. I'm still trying to figure out how they didn't beat Tennessee or Vanderbilt or Oklahoma. I mean, it's just so bizarre. So bizarre because the team I saw in the first half looked like world beaters. I think we're all still trying to figure that out, aren't we?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are. What can you tell us between the hedges? What's happening? The first scrimmage took place over the weekend. What kind of intel can you share with us?
Well, I mean, it's just kind of the same million-dollar question. I mean, everything looks great. The quarterback play, Gunnar didn't make mistakes, but they had trouble getting the ball in the end zone. But how much of that's the defense? I mean, Kirby Kirby was doing some things on defense. I mean, they got playmakers. They got great guys on defense, but how good can the quarterback be if he needs to be? Can anybody press Georgia, score enough points on him to put Gunner under pressure to be a playmaker? To me, I mean, I think he'll take care of the ball. I think he'll make good decisions. The other guy, Ryan Puglisi, he made some really good throws, got a lot of arm talent. May ultimately be the more talented guy, but right now Gunner's the more seasoned guy with all of one start. So this is where Georgia's at. I mean, it's all about the quarterback ultimately to see how far they can go.
Where would the strength be, either from just the front line or the depth position group-wise, be on the offensive side of the ball this season, Mike?
Strength of Well, I mean, their tight ends room's pretty good. I mean, there's no Brock Bowers, but they're pretty deep there. They got a couple playmakers there, and, they really like their receivers. They really like Branch, Zachariah Branch, the transfer from USC. Apparently he's lightning in a bottle. A lot of quicks, a lot of explosivity there. I think that would be, I think the offensive line is going to be adequate. I don't know that it's going to be dominating, but I think they're pretty solid there. And the running backs had a couple guys emerge in the scrimmage. That redshirt freshman Chauncey Bowens, 225-pounder, and Nate Frazier's back. Rod Robinson's a guy they thought they were going to have going into last year, 240-pound guy that had a turf toe, and apparently he's back in form. So, there's some optimism that the running back room, will be healthy and deeper. Last year they only had one scholarship running back healthy for a large part of the year. Etienne was injured. When he was healthy, they beat Texas twice, but missed a couple other key games. So, I don't know that I think they're just pretty good on offense, but I think defense is going to be the calling card.
Yeah, I was reading some articles at Dog Nation over the weekend after the scrimmage, and some of your reporters were talking about how that the depth of the defense and that the interior could be one of those special units that we've become accustomed to Georgia having each and every year. You agree with that assessment, like you just said, that the defensive side will probably be a little bit more stronger than the offense?
Yeah, I do. I don't, you guys know the danger of trying to compare a program to its great years, though. I mean, I don't think 21 and 22 Georgia D-line's coming out the tunnel. I mean, there's no Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter, and maybe not even a Nolan Smith, but this Christian Miller guy is pretty good. I think he's legit. I think he'll be a playmaker. And then the freshman, Elijah Griffin, you don't typically hear of a freshman that can make an impact on the D-line, but this guy's pretty special. And then they got a linebacker that's kind of emerging, put a little weight on him. I think he'll play off the edge named Chris Cole. So there'll be some new names and faces and guys maybe, you hadn't heard about. I mean, nobody made first team All-SEC, I guess. So they got something to prove. They lost 13 guys to the NFL, and Carson took his Lamborghini to Miami. So they got a lot of bodies to replace.
Mike Griffith, who covers the SEC, DogNation.com, and also the AJC, joins us here on Three Man Front on the Higginbotham Hotline. AP rankings come out yesterday, Mike. Not asking you to reveal your vote, but as far as the SEC teams in the top 10, any surprises, and would you reshuffle any?
No, not really. I mean, I think it's pretty solid. That's the can you believe that's the 8th straight year that Georgia's been ranked in the top 5?
That's incredible.
There's only one other program in the country that can say that. That's Ohio State, and Georgia and Alabama. Georgia. Golly, Freudian slip. They used to say Alabama. Georgia and Ohio State are the only two programs that have been in the top 10 in the last 10 years or so. So, well, let's see. Georgia was 2017, going back to 2017 every year. Ohio State, I think, going back to 2015 every year. So those are the only two programs to be top 10 teams every year that long. So, I don't know if I'd call it a dynasty, but, in the midst of that, Georgia was the only program to go undefeated in the SEC 3 straight years in history. They were only SEC program to win back-to-back national titles. I mean, you start talking about doing things like that Nick Saban never done. That's pretty impressive.
Mike, speaking about the top 25, it was very quiet up in the Rust Belt yesterday when the AP preseason top 25 came out, because with the SEC for the first time ever, any conference having double-digit teams in the top 25, that was the Southeastern Conference. Meanwhile, the Big Ten did not have that kind of showing. What happened to all those people crowing about no depth in the SEC and the Big Ten is the best conference in the world? Where are all those people yesterday? Because most of the people nationally, the 65 voters, didn't feel like the Big Ten was deserving of more than 6 teams in the top 25.
Well, neither did the coaches in the coaches poll, right? So your mind went the same place mine did. This is why the SEC's not going to 9 games, and this is why it's ridiculous that the Big Ten's trying to dictate that.
The Big Ten, kind of has the floor. They've won the last 2 national titles, and they want to seize the moment. And so at their press days, they're going to, like you said, do all this talking. And now that perception comes out and everybody votes and kind of, puts down their evaluations of how good the programs are, you see the SEC's depth that we've talked about. And like you said, it's fallen silent. But, that's not their agenda. They had their moment to talk, and, there was enough foolish people in the national media on some of these national networks that don't really follow college football that, grab the low-hanging fruit and probably ought to just stick to pro sports because they don't really understand college ball. But I guess if they got a big enough mouth and microphone, they can say what they want. But you're right. They're nowhere to be found. But, we'll see how it ends up at the end of the year. There's a different selection committee now, and hopefully we'll get some, rankings that are more reflective of how good teams are. We won't have to see teams like SMU and Indiana in the playoff while, Alabama, South Carolina, and Ole Miss are sitting on the sidelines. They'd probably be, double-digit favorites if they played either one of those teams. Last year was sheer lunacy. You guys are just trying to get me pissed off today thinking about that again. I mean, 4th-place team in the Big Ten hosting a playoff game. I mean, I'm not sure. Jim Harbaugh 2 years ago, they're cheating. And last year, Big Ten, Michigan athletic director in charge of this committee. I mean, these guys, what a bunch of clowns. I grew up in that state. They call it the Blue Wall. That Michigan it seems like University of Michigan football, just their attitude and ego is out of control.
Oh, I love it. I love hearing the Michigan dirt from him.
I love getting Mike pissed off.
Yeah, Mike, I did want to ask you about John Gruden. Tells Kirby Smart and Georgia that he would die to coach in the SEC. What do you think the likelihood is that we see John Gruden running a program in the Southeastern Conference, if not there, a Power 4 football program?
Well, I don't know about likelihood, but I know that Tennessee's talked about wanting him a few times, 2 or 3 times over. And, I know he's got some, NFL things to clean up, and I think he had some kind of win in court recently that, could get him back into coaching. I think Tennessee would probably be the most likely place if it were going to happen. We'll see what happens to Tennessee this year. I mean, this is a big year for Josh Heupel, I think. I know he made the playoffs last year, but, there's a lot of questions about Tennessee this year, and I think those people are pretty anxious, to win big. I know they beat Alabama 2 out of the last 3 years. I know they beat Florida 2 out of the last 3 years, but they haven't gotten back to the SEC championship game since 2007. And there's a lot of money, a lot of power brokers up there. And if Tennessee were to have a bad season, which is quite possible, I mean, we'll see. They got a good defense, but with Nico moving on and the way that was mishandled, you have a bad season and all of a sudden drums start beating. So to me, I think Gruden would, if he were to go, he'd want to go somewhere he could win right away. I mean, I think right now, for now, Billy Napier's safe. They got a brutal schedule, but what if something happens to Billy Napier? Then who's next up there? You guys keep bringing up Brian Kelly. Maybe you know something about Saban. I don't, but I don't know who you'd replace Kelly with, and I don't necessarily think LSU's going to falter. So I don't know. Gruden wouldn't go anywhere he couldn't win. Those are a few of the candidates, I would think.
That is Mike Griffith, joins us each and every week here on the Higginbotham Hotline. Mike, always great to catch up with you. We will talk to you again next Tuesday, as it will be game week for some teams around college football. So we look forward to it. Thanks, Mike.
Exciting times. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it very much. That's Mike Griffith joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. All of our guests join us on that Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
We continue. Pelham Gator is here.
He's got his
Officer
own
Walt's
caricature
here.
now.
Yeah, we got security, and he's got – I wanted to have one of these done when we went on vacation. Dorothy wouldn't let me do it.
Look at that.
Oh, it looks great. Who's got his ear pierced in this one?
Yeah.
All right, we are live from Social Taco here in Homewood. It's a Taco Tuesday. Doors opening officially 40 minutes from right now, but you can come and join us upstairs on the Taco Terrace, socialtaco.bar for more information. More college football news to get into. Your reaction to Ty Simpson officially being named the starter. Malcolm Simmons cleared at Auburn. We continue here on Jox.
It's 10:24. Welcome back. This is Three Man Front on Jox. Pat Landrum. Molly will be out here in just a little bit. Conrad Van Order back in studio. A little bit of basketball news to pass on. This just announced a few moments ago by Auburn. In a rematch of the 2025 Final Four, the Auburn men's basketball team is going to face Houston in the Battleground 2K25 at Legacy Arena in downtown Birmingham on Sunday, November the 16th. The Tigers defeated the Cougars 74-69 last season in Houston. So beyond the marquee matchup between these two elite programs, the weekend will also feature a full slate of community-centered events, including the Battleground 2K25 press conference and Fan Fest on Saturday, November 15th in downtown Birmingham. So that is going to be a big-time matchup. Once again, Auburn and Houston, Legacy Arena, BJCC, Sunday, November 16th, a whole weekend of activities that weekend. So that is a big-time announcement for those two schools.
Yeah, and I'm seeing where Houston is ranked number 1.
And some, yep.
Some of the way too early top 25s. Auburn should be squarely, I believe. I'm trying to see in this one, Houston is number 1, but Auburn should be in the top at least. I would think top 10, but top 15, maybe not. You never know. They are not in this particular one. Wow. They don't have them in the top 25?
Interesting.
Yeah, they have them. Number 25. Fascinating. But you're right. That'll be a great matchup. One that we saw last year.
Auburn victorious in Houston.
At the Toyota Center.
Yep.
Well, even with the rain outside, it may be a little cool today, but we know that the heat is going to come back because that Alabama heat and humidity can be absolutely brutal, but you don't want to let it affect your home or your family, so keep them comfortable with an affordable Trane cooling system. They've been recognized as America's most trusted brand for 11 consecutive years, and that is why they are our official cooling partner right here at Jox. Go find a comfort specialist near you today online at Trane.com.
So the news yesterday, a couple of headlines from both Alabama and Auburn camps. Bama names the starting quarterback, Ty Simpson. No big surprise there. Down at Auburn, Malcolm Simmons, legal matters, they have been dismissed, so he's moving forward with practice and a member of the Auburn football team. Yesterday, Derek Nix and Kent Austin, two offensive coaches for the Auburn Tigers, that they met with the media. Derek Nix, first up, let's hear from him. Derek Nix gave us all his thoughts on the first scrimmage of the fall camp for the Auburn Tigers and what he liked, what he didn't like.
I think on the positive side, I thought we competed at a high level. We made flashes. There were flashes of big plays, explosive plays, but the consistency of what we expect and what we want is still a work in progress, and continue to get our guys to gel and understand that every play has a life of its own. We have a great first down and get ourselves into 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 5. We can't have a mishap on that next down on second to get in a 3rd and long.
It was also interesting because one of the names that you and I both have been hearing, Landrum, in regards to really turning a lot of heads down there offensively is Omar Mapson, who was reclassified. He is supposed to be a senior this year at Auburn High School, and he has really done a nice job in fall camp. This is what Derek Nix had to say about Mapson making a strong first impression with the coaches.
To me, he's done a remarkable job so far. He's came in June and been very aggressive, trying to learn, taking extra time to go meet with coaches to learn the scheme. He's worked hard with Coach Dom. Sometimes you blink and you don't realize who this guy is. You know, he should have another year in high school, and I love his attitude and his effort so far.
That was Derek Nix talking to the media yesterday. Also, Kent Austin, quarterback's coach. He had an opportunity to meet with the media, and he was asked about how Auburn's quarterbacks are developing so far this fall.
I think they're benefiting from the fact that we really focused in on what we thought we were going to do well as an offense. We carried that through the offseason, through the spring, through the summer. And they got a lot of repetitions on similar concepts. It doesn't necessarily mean that we line up the same way, but conceptually it's the same stuff, right? And I think they've benefited a lot from that. Obviously, we'll game plan more specifically, right, for Baylor. But I think our quarterbacks at this stage are handling the offense pretty well. They're making pretty quick decisions, getting the ball in their hand. We've got good skill, which is helping. Defense is throwing a lot at us, and they've adjusted pretty well. Every day is something new, right, that we have to contend with offensively, and that they have to contend with, behind the center. So pretty pleased where they're at right now.
More Kent Austin, he was talking about what traits stand out about Jackson Arnold, who is presumed to be their starting quarterback.
Physically, he's got a really quick release. He's really accurate. He can spot the ball to get the ball completed. He just has, the natural passers just have a knack to throw, to throw receivers open, right? And the other thing that Jackson brings is he's a really effective runner. He's a lot faster than you realize, and he's strong. So we'll be able to utilize him in the QB run game and just him extending plays with his athleticism.
Major kudos, and I've said this since Hugh Freeze got back to Auburn. Auburn has made a lot of their coaches available to the media, which is something that you did not see or hear a lot of when Gus Malzahn and Brian Harsin was there. Likewise, a lot of times at Alabama, you only got the coordinators at the beginning, at the end of a season. That was it. And so both Alabama and Auburn's done a really nice job, in my opinion, that it's opened that up. So not only has the media been able to report more in regards to what they see and hear in Tuscaloosa and Auburn, but it gives the fans an opportunity to hear straight from the horse's mouth from the quarterback's coach, Kent Austin at Auburn, and obviously Derek Nix, the OC and running backs coach.
Well, Ken Austin certainly knows in his experience as a college coach, he knows college quarterbacks. Our friends at Stark Exterminators, they know how to protect your home or business, so those stinging, biting, pesky insects don't ruin your day, don't ruin your fall during football season. I was just over at a buddy's house the other day, and he said, hey, tell me again who you use to take care of your home. And I told him it's our friends at Stark Exterminators. He had bugs. He had ladybugs. He had spiders that had made their way inside. He's got a clean house. It's not like he lives in filth, but it's just natural for that to happen this time of year. You can keep your home and your business protected with our friends at Stark Exterminators, family-owned for over 61 years. One of their trained professionals will come out to your home. Their team member will inspect it thoroughly inside and out, address any issues like those spiders or ladybugs or anything else that are coming inside the house, and then any potential issues that might be a hurdle down the road. Call them today for the free home or business pest inspection. It's free. 855-STARK now, or go to starkexterminators.com, and when you do so, always tell them Landrum from Jox sent you.
When we come back on Three Man Front live at Social Taco, we'll get into this John Gruden conversation. You just heard Mike Griffith bring up, would Tennessee be interested if something happens to Josh Heupel about John Gruden? He won a big Nevada Supreme Court ruling yesterday. We'll tell you what that's all about and the future of John Gruden. That's next on Three Man Front. We're live at Social Taco. This is Jox, three-man front. Come on by. The door's officially open at 11, but Pelham Gator and Don already in the building. Officer Walt is here controlling the crowd. Always appreciate that.
Yeah, just help out if you see them setting up the team here at Social Taco. If you see them, just as part of the deal, little housekeeping. So if you come in and you're asked to maybe set up a two-top or get things ordered like wrapping silverware, don't be appalled. That just means you're part of the family.
But we're always happy to see Officer Walt.
Yes.
Who is here, crowd control.
Yep.
Gets a little crazy at the beginning of the show.
He's locked on Don right now.
Yeah, he's making sure Don's properly behaving.
He wouldn't even have to move. Officer Walt just stays him right there.
Yes, that'd be perfect. Artec Tractor in Jasper is having a sale on all their fluids and filters from now until the end of September. That is all oil filters and air filters. Also all engine oil and hydraulic oil. This is 15% off all of those items. Locally owned specialists in mowers and tractors. Artec Tractors, who I turned to when I was in the market for a zero turn. I got me a Toro from Artec Tractor. They also have Cub Cadet, Gravely, Bobcat, Spartan, residential to commercial grade, more brands, and a better selection than those big box stores. Tractor brands like Mahindra, Bobcat, everything from large home acreage you need to cut, small homesteads to large farms, hunting plots, knowledgeable sales department to advise your purchase. That's what I did. I called Jeremy and I said, look, this is what I have. I would love for you to be able to point me in the right direction. He did that. And you know what? I have nothing to worry about moving forward because they got an expert service department with years of experience. They can work on all types of mowers and tractors, large selection of heavy used equipment. So go by and see them just north of Jasper on Highway 5. That's artectractor.com. So we heard Mike Griffith mention John Gruden's name just a couple minutes ago. Gruden over the weekend was talking to the University of Georgia. He said, man, he would love to be back and coach it. He would love to be in the SEC. Would love it. Love to do that. His name's always been rumored in years past, potentially at Tennessee, because he was an assistant coach there long ago, maybe a GA. I think that's what it was. His wife was a Tennessee cheerleader in Knoxville. So might have been where they met. But John Gruden wants to coach again, and he said he'd gladly like to be in the Southeastern Conference. And there's one step that moved more towards a positive direction of him potentially returning to coaching, and that happened in the Nevada Supreme Court yesterday. They ruled that former Raiders coach John Gruden cannot be forced to participate in arbitration in his lawsuit with the NFL. The court had previously ruled Gruden could be required to undergo arbitration because he had agreed to be bound by the NFL Constitution as part of his Raiders employment agreement. 4 years ago, Gruden filed a lawsuit against both the NFL and Commissioner Roger Goodell. Gruden has long contended that the NFL deliberately leaked incriminating emails from Gruden that it had uncovered in an investigation, a move that ultimately led to Gruden being fired by the Las Vegas Raiders. The court yesterday in Nevada, the Supreme Court of the state, voted 5-2 to clear the way for Gruden's case to continue against the National Football League. Now, this is what the court said. By its own unambiguous language, the NFL Constitution no longer applies to Gruden. If the NFL Constitution were to bind former employees, the commissioner could essentially pick and choose which disputes to arbitrate. End of the state's comment. Gruden's attorney yesterday, Adam Hosmer-Henner, told ESPN in part, this victory further vindicates Coach Gruden's reputation and helps clear the way to holding the NFL accountable. End of quote. So it begs to differ now. We said yesterday, Landrum, don't think he's ever going to coach in the NFL again.
Right.
But college. Not that he needed this win in the Nevada Supreme Court to coach again in college, but that is kind of now clearing the decks for Gruden if he potentially wants to return.
Well, as an administration, are you comfortable? You know his coaching prowess. I have no doubts that he could have success. I'm not saying winning a national championship, but he could have success. But if you're an administration, because all of the content of those emails, that will all be brought to light again. I assume that John Gruden realizes this. You can go and you can find it right now at your leisure, the content of those from sharing topless photos of cheerleaders that were shared, what was going on with the Commanders organization, to talking about someone's physical appearance, making a disparaging comment about their name. What else? Took a made light of homosexuals. Michael Sam, I think he was in there as well. So with all of that, and maybe some more stuff that's in these emails, you just have to be prepared as an administration for the backlash in being that first coaching job when Gruden coming back. You bring up Hugh Freeze. There was time, though, in between, and there's been time now in between this, but Hugh Freeze actually went and coached at a college program in between his time at Ole Miss when he was dismissed and now at Auburn. I'm just trying to find comps.
Yeah.
And how that would be viewed. Well, from a fan base perspective, you just want wins. And you're really, I think in a lot of cases, most fans, whether they admit it or not, they're concerned with wins, being relevant, national championships. They view this as a business anyways. So where are the morals?
Correct. And let's not forget, Liberty hired Hugh Freeze and Auburn hired Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
So it goes to what you just said, and I agree with you 100%. People should be forgiving, and people are. But when it comes to football programs and it's big-time business, if there is a winning football coach out there, they more times than not, they will look the other way if they know they have got somebody that can get them to the promised land. That goes NFL, college, high school, doesn't matter. They will absolutely look the other way. They will forgive you. If you've got a lot of W's next to your name, they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
I feel like now it would be easier to make that kind of hire.
No doubt.
Because
10 years ago?
Yeah.
No.
All right, don't run off the road, but the purity, that the way that the college game was perceived, no way that happened.
Which we knew behind the scenes, it was never that pure.
No.
But to the everyday individual walking the streets, they still believed in amateurism. They still believed in people going to the school because they grew up loving wearing crimson or orange and blue. That's not the case anymore. It's whoever's going to pay them the highest.
Now you've got guys that are riding around in Lamborghinis, putting out social media posts of stacks of cash. Yep. I think that innocence and, oh, goodness, who is going to lead our children, that has gone to the wayside.
Yep, there's no question about it. So we'll continue to have that conversation. The Courtesy GMC text line is open, 205-834-9450. We will have a little bit later in the show a conversation about Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt did not make the top 25 preseason poll, which surprised a lot of people. Robbie Weinstein is going to join the program next hour. He is from Vandy 247. We'll talk to him about how fall camp is going and how Diego Pavia is handling all the limelight in the Music City. In the 12 o'clock hour, we'll get an update on recruiting. Steve Wiltfong, he will join the program as we'll ask his opinion from the On3 Rivals perspective. If Auburn is on the rise and where and how high they can possibly go. So all that straight ahead. We're live. Social Taco here on this Tuesday on Jox. 1-800-239-WJOX, the Courtesy GMC text line, 205-834-9450. We will get to your phone calls momentarily if you've got anything you would like to talk about this morning. The AP preseason top 25 that came out yesterday. Auburn basketball, big announcement today. They're going to take on Houston in November in downtown Birmingham at Legacy Arena. Malcolm Simmons cleared. Ty Simpson, the starting quarterback for Alabama. All those things on the table if you'd like to participate in the show.
Well, and we know many of you are sending kids back to school, and that means that your schedule is going to be jam-packed in the afternoon. So don't let that get you down when you're looking for a dinner spot, because Big Whiskey's is going to have you covered. Big Whiskey's is a place for great food of all varieties. They have a full menu ranging from appetizers, salads, burgers, steaks, and much, much more. They also have their bar, which features unique cocktails, including over 120 whiskeys and whiskey on tap. Plus, during football season, of course, they've got plenty of screens for you to catch all the games. So let Big Whiskey's help you out with dinner as your schedule gets more crowded this fall season with the kids going back to school. And give them a visit. Big Whiskey's, located in Stadium Trace Village off of Highway 150 near the Hoover Met.
All right, let's go to the phones, 1-800-239-WJOX. Let's talk to Chris. Joins us here on the program. Hey, Chris.
Pat Landrum, Molly, Conrad, and especially you, Pat. What's going on, man? Let me clap it up for you, man. You've been in your bag lately, especially yesterday when you talked about the AP poll and comparison after all that crap talk that Kirstie Nitty and Ryan Day was spewing out in the media days. How it turns out you got how many was it? SEC
10 SEC teams were in the top 25. 6 Big Ten teams. 6.
And what about ACC teams?
I think it was 4, if I'm not mistaken. Might be less than that.
I think it was Clemson, Miami, SMU. I think it was just those 3.
Oh, it was just those 2?
Or 3, yeah.
Might as well make it -3. Might as well make it -3. Nobody really cares about that dog.
Yeah, Conrad's right. Yeah, because Notre Dame is not a member of the ACC yet.
Might as well make it -3 because nobody really cares about that dog water conference anyway. And looking at you, Bam Hayden. Hey, the kicking point of it all being, you was really spitting a couple weeks back. We was in, I think it was last week. About 3 weeks ago, you talk about Notre Dame being an outlier, and now you're talking about you're really talking ball, Pat. I got to clap it up because I'm like, when you put everything out on Front Street, for some reason we got a lot of folks capping around the college football spectrum about just lying on their backs about what they really have accomplished and what they realize what their real standing is compared to what they've done in their conference altogether. So,
Are you there, Chris?
what's your thoughts, Pat? Yeah, I'm saying, what's your thoughts, Pat?
Mainly I think you're not going to hear much from the Big Ten folks. I think they're going to try to let their season speak for themselves.
SEC bias too. Oh yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because too many times I hear the term SEC bias. I'm sorry. What is the NFL? Who leads the NFL the conference draft picks?
Oh, that would be the Southeastern Conference.
Who had the most blue chip recruiting lately, as well as I don't know what All Americans?
That too would be the SEC.
So why do we constantly do this song and dance every year and out as if it's just a broken record, trying to say SEC bias or fight the bias for the Big Ten and ACC and all them? When in retrospect,
well, because the Big Ten's won the 2 last national championships, and so they believe the Southeastern Conference, just like Rhett Lashley says, there's no depth. The teams like Alabama and Georgia, the dynasties are over with. The Big Ten is now taking over.
Depth, but Iowa, the likes of Northwestern, Rutgers couldn't even breathe the same air as I don't know a low tier LSU team. God forbid we mentioned Purdue, and only thing we really give a damn about them is them at Purdue Allen. We want to write term paper, but okay. Y'all take care.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Appreciate
the call. Text line is open, 205-834-9450.
Yes, I'm going to have to be very careful with some of these texts, as I typically am. Kyle texts into the show, and he says, in the era of NIL and transfer portal, what's your opinion on rivalry games? It seems so many players are primarily out of school because of money, not to love the school, and are likely indifferent to the history of their rivals. Are rivalry games diluted now? I think somewhat. Yes, they are. I think you still had kids that didn't appreciate it. And for instance, kids in the state of Alabama, they understood the importance of Auburn and Alabama, the Iron Bowl. Kids that went to Auburn that grew up in the state of Georgia, yeah, that was important to them. Now I think the concern, not only you couple in the money with rivalry games, Pat, but the question of buy-in week to week and how the mindset has changed for a lot of these kids that do have that blue Lamborghini sitting in the parking lot, do have a portfolio that would rival or best a lot of hardworking middle-aged men.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that it's human nature that some of these rivalry games have probably lost their luster because of makeup and a lot of factors that go into it.
I concur.
Bama hater, will you guys please put a Crimson Amber alert out for Mailman? I'm getting concerned. He can only call if Bama's winning natties or winning the SEC.
It's been a minute since we've heard from the Mailman.
Hey, guys. Just trying to get in my Mailman.
That's very
Love
similar
Mailman.
to Patrick Mahomes and Kermit the Frog, all wrapped into one.
This one says, love the show. I hope Ty Simpson has a great year. Y'all need to check out his brother Graham. He's a sophomore in high school. He's awesome. Thank you, Darren from Tennessee.
Yeah, I believe his brother was at Alabama for a camp over the summer. I can't remember if they gave him an offer or not yet. But
did he roommate with Lane Kiffin's son?
Maybe so.
With Knox?
Maybe so. Yeah, I think they're like a year apart.
Alan asked, did y'all notice in the SEC documentary on Netflix that Peyton Thorne was vaping while walking around campus? Saw that he was vaping looked like a cigar as he and his dad were walking to Toomer's Corner to celebrate, which I guess I should have assumed that they had vape cigars, but yeah. I didn't have an issue with it.
I've seen players smoking cigarettes in a locker room before. I think it'll be okay.
Coming up next hour, we're live at Social Taco. We're going to get into this controversy that erupted last night over Oklahoma's starting quarterback and his Venmo. Got to be careful, kids. On that memo line on that Venmo. We'll get into that next.
Always put that is for gas.
That's right. Every time. It's 11 o'clock. Welcome back. It is hour number 2 of Three-Man Front. We're live at Social Taco. Come on by and see us. The doors are officially open. Folks are making their way here up on the Taco Terrace. So we appreciate everyone stopping by and seeing us. We're about to get into this really odd story that started percolating yesterday afternoon about the starting quarterback for Oklahoma. If you have not seen the story, just basically in a nutshell, what took place was there was an individual on social media, and he goes by the name of, Brian Aguada. His bio reads, insider at Deadspin, senior journalist at Valley News Live. If you look up Valley News Live, that is in, I believe, North Dakota. Says he's as seen on the Monday Morning Quarterback and the Crossover. He's got about 500 followers on Twitter. And so last night around 6 o'clock, he posts on Twitter the following. Breaking. Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer has allegedly engaged in sports betting, including on NCAA football games such as UCLA versus USC, according to Venmo transactions. NCAA rules prohibit athletes from wagering on any NCAA-sanctioned events. So that was his tweet. And then there are some screen grabs of some of these supposed Venmo items in which John Mateer paid a Richard Roten for sports gambling. Also, Richard Roten paid John Mateer Ultra Sports Gambling FIFA World Cup. Also, there was sports gambling UCLA versus USC. So all those things were being reported by this individual on Twitter. Now, the reason it starts getting really interesting is, first and foremost, I'm not saying that someone that's only got 500 followers on Twitter cannot break a story, okay? That's not what I'm saying. But you got to do a little bit of digging on to make sure that this is not some kind of AI or this is somebody trying to grind an axe against John Mateer or whatever the case may be. But the plot thickened because he scrubbed his Venmo account after fans found screenshots showing he allegedly engaged in sports betting while at Washington State. So all these are posted on Twitter, and then all of a sudden he goes into his Venmo and he scrubs all the memos and all these people that he supposedly paid. That got everybody kind of going. Like, okay, what does that mean? Does that mean anything? Does that mean he's guilty? Mm-hmm. Does that mean that he's just trying to clean some stuff up? Because, Conrad, if I'm not mistaken, now I do not have those in my notes, but some of those Venmo memos, they were they did not put him in a very good light in regards to some of the pejoratives that had been used in the Venmo memos. Is that correct?
That is correct, and thanks to the power of the internet, I made sure to save those screenshots before they inevitably got deleted and scrubbed from the internet, so I won't read them, or I won't read all of them, but so these are some of the captions that you saw allegedly that were from John Mateer's Venmo. So you had on November 20th of 2022, these are the two that kind of started all of this. You had the two Venmo transactions between John Mateer, and he was paying somebody named Richard Roten. And one of the captions just said sports gambling. The other one said sports gambling, parentheses, UCLA versus USC. Huh. So allegedly, you would think they were probably gambling on that game. Yes, he then also did have some other posts that had, I don't know, maybe locker room talk would be a way to describe the captions, but not something that you want out there publicly and not comments that are appropriate to be made as well. But that kind of adds some legitimacy to the whole Venmo theory because those are legitimate Venmos, and you can see the correlation to the gambling ones on his account.
So just to recap, you have an individual that claims to be a reporter, posts these screenshots, says that John Mateer has allegedly engaged in sports betting, including UCLA versus USC and some other games. Then John Mateer goes to his Venmo and starts scrubbing certain things off of his Venmo account. Now, AJ Perez, who is a documentarian. He's a producer, investigative reporter. He used to work, if I'm not mistaken, at Front Office Sports. So he did a little digging on this individual that supposedly is a real person, this Aguada guy that posted the story. And it took A.J. Perez 12 seconds to figure out that this reporter's AVI is a pic of NHL forward Zach Ashton Reese. So I'm not sure what the situation is, if this is an AI-generated situation or if somebody has an axe to grind with John Mateer and they have now created this persona of a so-called journalist. But there's one thing for sure, Landrum. It appears that those Venmo screen grabs, those were real. That was presented on Twitter yesterday afternoon by this so-called reporter.
All right, so this is an NCAA issue, if anything. I guess it would be first and foremost, not the College Sports Commission. If this happened back in 2022, he appeared in one game back in 2022, and that was against Stanford, where he was 2 for 2. I think the question that you have to ask if you're John Mateer, or that you have to be concerned about if you're an Oklahoma fan, is if there's digging, if there's an investigation into trying to uncover other transactions that do relate to college sports, particularly college football, I could see that being an issue. If he was gambling on the NBA, the NFL, other sports, I don't think that there's a whole lot of legs to it. But what is the rule? What are the current rules? I can't remember from the Iowa State, whatever school else was involved, how the NCAA sees that.
Well, I can tell you this. I reached out immediately last night to some people that I trust in the state of Oklahoma about this particular story. And they obviously said that the Venmo screen grabs were concerning, but they honestly, as of this morning, they do not feel like anything of consequence is going to come of this. It's just the age that we're currently living in. If this was 10 to 15 years ago, John Mateer might be suspended the first 3 games during investigation or whatever the case may be. But according to the people that I trust in the state of Oklahoma, they believe that this is pretty much going to end up being a nothing burger.
Can we also all agree, and I'm not, regardless of if he did it or not, if he did do it, this doesn't absolve him of being guilty and doing something that he probably was well aware should not be doing. But can we all agree that it's really weird that there's some people out there that have nothing better to do with their time than go back 3 years on someone's Venmo transaction page and try to find them, catch them red-handed doing something?
Well,
the motive. What's the motive for that? Because you know that John Mateer has got a fat stack of cash to go to Norman, Oklahoma to play football.
It's just weird
Maybe
behavior.
The shakedown didn't work, right?
Well, just think what they tried to do to Josh Allen.
Yep. Yeah. That stuff is just so weird to me.
I mean, when they went back and was finding things that when 15, 16-year-old kids are posting, completely different individual once they become an adult. But anyway, it's worth mentioning because it is scary how this stuff, especially with AI, and Molly, you just did, it took you 5 seconds. You just found this individual's picture. This is from, a hockey team, like a college hockey player.
He was on the Northeastern Huskies hockey team. He was that picture, by the way, is from 9 years ago.
9 years ago. Amazing.
Yeah, he's a forward.
He's a forward.
Mm-hmm.
So this is inevitably going to come out that some Texas fan made this fake account, right, and to spread this information, something like that.
I will say, though, I do think that this should be a lesson because I know for, not saying that I have done this, but, females and, friends that I know have maybe caught boyfriends cheating because they've looked at Venmos to see who. So just a word, just be careful what you put on Venmo.
Okay,
words
so now you just now we're about to go down a road. So all right, so there.
What was the caption, Molly?
Yeah, what were they?
It was dinner or ice cream.
I got you.
But
okay,
just
But
maybe
I guess someone paying another
private.
female or a female
Correct.
paying someone else.
Yes. So just be careful. Like, this should be a warning.
So this has happened to some of your friends?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So like Landrum said, just put everything down as gas.
Like I said, Pat, listen, we can find out everything.
All right, according to the NCAA, I'm looking at the rules right now. NCAA rules ban participation in sports betting activities, prohibit providing information to individuals involved in or associated with any type of sports betting activities concerning intercollegiate, amateur, or professional athletics competition. It goes on to say, in other words, if you're a student athlete, coach, or athletic staff member, regardless of sport or division, you're not allowed to bet on really on anything, is what it says. Bet or provide any useful information that can influence a bet in any sport the NCAA sponsors or at any level. That's straight from the handbook. Again, what does that mean? How much teeth does the NCAA have? Or are people going to be crying to track this thing down? Have we still not gotten the punishment for Michigan and the whole Connor Stallions thing?
Okay, there is a radio station there in Oklahoma. They have reached out to Valley News Live. They spoke to an office manager who looked through their personnel records, and they have never employed an individual by the name of Aguado or whatever his name he's going by on social media.
I definitely think the 400, 500, whatever followers he had, that was really throwing everyone for a loop last night, I think.
Yeah, he claimed to be a senior journalist at Valley News Live. However, after media in the state of Oklahoma reached out to try to find out something about this individual, and there is absolutely nothing. I am now subscribing to what Conrad just brought up. I think that this is a UT Horns fan. I think that they have gone in and they have created this AI reporter, and they found some stuff, which obviously was incriminating to the point to where he scrubbed his Venmo, just trying to stir it up a little bit. Well, is there any doubt?
I could see it being a UT fan.
Or a Washington State fan that is irritated because he left.
Or Conrad, who watched Oklahoma beat his team last year.
And he's trying to get him suspended for the season.
Now, if this was Jackson Arnold, I might be guilty of it, but not John Mateer. No, he wasn't part of that last year. So he gets a free pass for right now. But I will say this, seriously, if you're John Mateer, as far as I know, there's no way that, even if the Venmo transactions are true and legitimate, there's no way you can go and track what they actually paid for. So all you would have to do is say, oh, yeah, me and my friends, we thought it was funny. We just put sports gambling as what we were, doing, but we actually just bought dinner that night.
Oh, agree 100%.
You could easily lie your way out of this situation.
If there's an investigation, so if it's the integrity people that have, I think, some federal persuasion, they have a lot more power, or they do have more power than the NCAA, which does not have subpoena power. If he has to start turning over records and they want to go through with a fine-tooth comb and track his history, if there's something there, there's a good chance they're going to find it. That would be my fear if I'm John Mateer in Oklahoma.
All right, so here's the deal. Molly, she has gone way back.
Guys, I can find anything. I told you.
All right, so you went back to 2023, right?
Correct.
And this individual who posted this on Twitter last night, what's their name again?
Brian Aguada.
Aguada. Okay. What did he tweet in 2023?
This is in all caps, by the way. The Texas Longhorns are Big 12 champions. West Virginia was so bad they could not get one win. And about 6 crying laughing emojis and about 20 broom emojis, okay? But then he goes on to say, I would hate to be a West Virginia fan, and then he says a word that I will not say on these airwaves.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that word either.
Okay.
Just call me Sherlock Holmes then.
How about that? So Conrad just accidentally walked into the case. He just solved the case.
I'm looking at his old tweets, and they're really funny. Well, some of them. Some of them
That's
are kind of
AI,
dumb.
Molly. It's not a real person.
No, I know. It's just funny seeing what this person's saying.
So he's a Tennessee fan.
He tweeted about when the submarine exploded.
Oh, the Titanic
He's making jokes about it?
No, he tweeted the Titan, the missing submarine that was used to explore the Titanic, has been found. Everyone on board passed away. That's what he said. He's.
Hey, that was a big breaking news story.
U.S. Integrity does not appear to have subpoena power.
And he'll like quote tweet some things like first to report this, first to report this. Huh.
Yeah.
How funny would it be if Oklahoma was like, what Mike Gundy tried to do at Oklahoma State? You remember where you could scan the QR code and it would go to like Venmo or whatever, where you could donate to the NIL?
Well, apparently he's not a Lakers fan either.
He doesn't like LeBron at all.
Yeah, he does not like LeBron. This might be Landrum. Landrum might have posted that.
Conrad, I'm going to send this to you.
So he's a Texas fan and he hates LeBron. Okay.
Anything about LeBron.
Oh, my goodness.
People.
Oh, my. So, kids, just let it be a lesson. If you're going to put something on the memo line of your Venmo, just make it generic.
Man, this guy really does not like LeBron James.
Hey, if this is a conspiracy, then I would tell everybody on Oklahoma's schedule beware, because there's obviously some fear about what John Mateer can do in that offense.
Just make sure that when you guys pay for the office football pool this year that you –
I don't think anybody's going to the trouble to dig some stuff up on Zach Calzada.
Yeah. All right.
He tweeted, "Keep lifting. Don't listen to the haters. Can't wait to get back in the lab."
This is just your Tuesday motivation right here.
No, literally.
Man. All right. Good stuff. We're live at Social Taco. Come on up and see us. We'd love to hear from you. 1-800-239-WJOX. The Courtesy GMC text line is open. 205-834-9450. A little bit later in the program, matter of fact, at the bottom of the hour, we'll go to Nashville, Tennessee, and find out the very latest on the Vanderbilt Commodores fall camp. Next hour, recruiting with Steve Wiltfong on this very busy Tuesday from Social Taco. Love to hear from you on the text line, brought to you by Courtesy GMC, 205-834-9450, 1-800-239-WJOX is the phone number. Love to hear from you. Our guest is going to join us at 11:30, so we got a little bit of time to hear from you on the text line or phone call.
I'd say about our friends at Mystic Beverage, sparkling spring water that's infused with goodies, various cannabinoids to achieve your level of mood, your level of relaxation. I love the Lift Blend. It's got the green coffee bean extract I tell you all the time, especially in the fall when we're really busy and doing what we do with college football, high school football, show responsibilities and everything else. Those days, they can seem like they never end, but the green coffee bean extract, it's going to get you through with the Lift Blend. You can go with one of 4 delicious flavors, or you can try all of them. But not only that, they got the Nirvanic. You can go with the High Hills. You want to go with the Broadway. It's a great alternative to alcohol, especially if you're overindulging during the college football season. MysticBeverage.com. You can find them at your local Piggly Wiggly, or simply check out all of their products on the website at MysticBeverage.com. Always tell them Landrum from Jox sent you.
So, Molly, are you excited about Taylor Swift doing a podcast? That is tomorrow, correct?
Oh, I'm so excited.
And so she is announcing her new album. Have you pre-ordered the Life of a Showgirl vinyl for $29.99?
No, I don't have a record player.
How about a cassette player for $19.99? You can get the Life of a Showgirl.
Don't have one of those either.
All right. Well, do you have a CD player?
In my car?
Okay, well, you could get the Life of a Showgirl CD with poster.
Sweet.
For $12.99.
Pat, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I've bought a CD since I was 10.
Well, I was thinking about the poster. I was thinking you could get the CD.
I don't think anybody's bought a CD since you were 10.
And you could get the poster and put it up in y'all's office.
Perfect. I'll just do that. And I can keep the CD in my car. Just play it on loop.
Yeah, all the time. So, are you excited about this?
Oh, I'm so excited. I mean, I'm a huge Swiftie, so I was kind of shocked that she's announcing a new album, though. I mean, I'm glad she is. Don't get me wrong.
Are you surprised?
Just in time to distract everybody during football. I'm so sick of this.
Well, we don't know when it's dropping yet. I don't know the release date.
Sorry, Taylor. You can share the spotlight with other things.
I will say the fact that she is going on New Heights, their podcast, is actually huge. I don't think she's ever done a podcast.
So apparently her management team, they have filed a bunch of trademarks.
Ooh, I love a trademark.
Yep, bunch of filings, including TLOAS.
The Life of a Showgirl.
Yep, stands for Life of a Showgirl. So they filed trademarks on a wide range of goods under the names of her past albums, as well as that
Cashmere,
abbreviation.
Velvet, Tickles.
So what do you think we'll learn in this podcast that we didn't already know?
Maybe more of like an inside look to their relationship. I know that he just did an interview with GQ where he kind of talked about how Taylor's become a huge football fan and like she really like understands the game now because of him and all this stuff. So, and he said it's been cool watching her when she was on tour and like the 150 however many shows that she did, and yeah.
Do you anticipate that they will get married one day, or you think that they're completely happy with having their parallel lives and they intersect at times?
I mean, I would love for them to get married, but I could also see them just being like a happy couple and not getting married.
What do you think, Landrum?
I thought he was good.
You think it's true love?
I thought he was really good in Happy Gilmore, too, as a server.
I will say, though, as someone, like my first concert, I know we've talked about it, but I was 7 when I went to go see Taylor Swift. Like, this is the happiest and the most public she's been with, like, a boyfriend.
She seemed like a really miserable person. I like Taylor Swift. She's fine. But she seemed like, for somebody who was worth $1 billion, in one of the documentaries I saw where she's flying around with her mom and then she's over and she was still with, what's his face? Yeah.
Yeah.
She complained a whole lot.
She's a lot happier now.
What was she complaining about?
Just a lot of first world, elite 1% problems.
Oh, okay.
Which was kind of a turnoff, a little bit. But look, if she's happy and he's happy. You asked if I thought it was true love. Sure. I guess it is.
I mean, they've been together for like what, 3 years now?
I think
it's been that long.
2 years? I feel like it's been a minute.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell you what, if he has another season like he did last year,
I think he'll retire.
He'll be in Happy Gilmore 3 and 4.
He might be in more.
He'll be your I don't even know what you call that. He could help with setup. He can make sure that she's happy, her green room's set up on tour. Just travel around with her, right?
He kind of seems like he's going a little bit on the Gronk path now. Like he's trying to branch out into some other things. You know, he can start to see the end of the career and, you know, trying to be that funny, you know, personality, kind of, you know, the big bro guy.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you guys like better? Who would you rather hang out with without Taylor involved? Would it be Jason or Travis?
Ooh, probably Jason.
Yeah, probably Jason.
I think Jason too.
I agree.
Well, good luck to Taylor and her album sales.
So when will that podcast drop tomorrow? Is that tomorrow, like during the day or
Central.
tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think it's 7 Eastern.
How much do you have to pay for that?
Well, the podcast is free.
Oh, I was talking about the album.
Oh,
we got all sorts of options of what you want to do.
See, I just always wait until it comes on Spotify, which is the day it drops.
You know, there's something about this has nothing to do with Taylor Swift, but you mentioned the vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to, and I know you can buy those record players, but I want that sound.
See, we have a record player like at our house, like my parents do, and we'll use it sometimes, like when we're playing dominoes or playing cards. But we have a bunch of older records.
Vinyls are like crazy expensive now, though.
They can.
They're like
be
$40.
expensive. Yeah.
Well, for the life of a showgirl vinyl, you can order it right now.
That's
Conrad,
why you get a
for
greatest
$29.99.
That's why you get a greatest hits, Conrad.
You get a greatest hits, yeah.
Why don't you order one for Paige?
Wait, is that the new Taylor Swift album?
Yes, $29.99.
Yeah, she'll get it on Spotify. We pay monthly for that.
See,
I
I
actually
pay for
have some
Spotify
records.
too.
I have records that I got from that my parents had in storage.
Oh, we have a ton too.
I got some Kenny Loggins.
Oh, well, I know where my next paycheck's going. Thanks, Pat. I'm going to hope that Paige does not see the same link you just
I
sent
just
me.
want y'all to order the one with the poster because I want y'all to put that up in the office so I can make fun of y'all.
I will gladly order that.
Wait, okay, I'm dumb. She's just not showing the cover, right? That's not actually the
Yes.
cover. Okay,
No,
I was
it's
about to say that. I was
I know
like,
you're
that
dumb.
is an
You're dumb,
interesting,
Conrad.
creative decision.
They
yeah.
blurred out on the New Heights promo, Conrad.
Oh,
Like-
so she's going to, okay, so that's, she's
Yes,
going to
I think she's
gonna
show it tomorrow.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Well, it's another rainy day in central Alabama. Another wild storm came through my neck of the woods last night. The ground is soggy. The winds are howling. Trees are falling everywhere. Even if your roof looks okay from down on the ground, those gusts and downpours that we experience a good bit of the summertime, they could be tearing your shingles off or causing hidden leaks you can't see. So don't wait for a small problem to become a huge disaster. Abide Roofing is ready to step up and help you today. They can come out and do a free roof inspection for you. No sales pitch. There's no pressure. They just want to make sure your home is safe. And if the storm left you with a little bit more of soggy grass, they can also handle tree removal. That's right. Abide can handle that for you as well. They got your back. They'll work directly with your homeowner's insurance company, even the ones that can be hard to deal with, to make sure that you get the protection you need for your home. I know firsthand how good they are. They put a brand new roof on my house, and they dealt with my insurance company. So don't wait. Give them a call today. That's Abide Roofing, 205-941-6223, 205-941-6223, or visit their website, abideroof.com. Your roof is your home's first line of defense. With Abide Roofing, you'll know it's ready for whatever the weather throws at you. So call Abide today, 205-941-6223.
Robbie Weinstein, who covers the Vanderbilt Commodores, will get the latest on Diego Pavia, and will they ever finish renovating that stadium? He joins us next on Three Man Front. That fight song can only mean one thing, Pat.
That Vandy's going to upset Alabama and Auburn again this year?
That's exactly
what that
means. That's what that sounds like. Yeah. Robbie Weinstein, who covers the Vanderbilt Commodores, did a wonderful job there at 247, joining us now here on Three Man Front and joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Robbie, how are you? We're just, less than 2 weeks away from the start of the college football season?
Yeah, hey guys, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. I've been out at Vandy practice a lot, and certainly you go to a lot of practices, and it's great to have the access that we do here. But on the other side of the coin, I can't wait for the real games to start. The practices get a little old after a while, so I think this is maybe the 11th of fall camp today, and things start to look the same. So I'm really looking forward to the real games starting soon.
Okay, so obviously the number one question you probably get, Robbie, on your website all the time, it's Diego Pavia, and he has not been shy. He was on the Paul Feinbaum show about a week ago talking about national championship aspirations, and we all respect that. Unfortunately for Vandy, they have not been listed in an AP or a coaches poll preseason top 25. Let's start there. Was it a bit of a surprise based on the talent coming back and with Diego Pavia at the helm? Were you surprised that Vandy did not get an opportunity to be a so-called top 25 team?
I wasn't surprised that they weren't in the poll. I thought maybe they'd get a couple votes. But, ultimately Vanderbilt is a smaller brand. They're not going to rank toward the top of past recruiting rankings, even transfer class rankings. So, to me, I would not rank them in the preseason top 25, even though they're one of the oldest, most veteran teams in college football. I think it's possible that they could break into the top 25, just like they did last year. But to me, they're probably not a team that's going to get the benefit of the doubt just due to the smaller brand. So I wasn't surprised that they were not in the poll.
How much more buzz is there, Robbie, with the fan base, given last year some of the monumental wins and then the expectations with one Diego Pavia returning at quarterback?
Yeah, there's a lot more. They're coming up on finishing the major renovations to the stadium as well, and so that's going to improve the fan experience. I definitely think, for the first time that I can remember, it's been really a long time, they've got a guy who nationally is pretty well known among college football fans and who draws a lot of attention, and it's just really fun. Both, these interviews are hilarious to watch, and he's got a really fun playing style, and he's a really good player. So I definitely think that has contributed to a lot of buzz. Of course, going to a bowl game and beating some big-name teams last year also helps. I definitely have not witnessed this amount of kind of excitement and anticipation for a Vandy football season any time recently, if ever.
All right, so let's talk about the defense first before we get back to Diego Pavia and the offense, because Clark Lee took over the defensive side of the ball last year, and it proved, statistically speaking, they cut off 13 points from what they averaged the year before giving up. They went from 129 in the nation to 51st. Just talk about Clark Lee taking over that unit, and what does it look like this year for Vandy?
Well, he's given up DC duties, actually. So I felt like it was taking too much of his time away from managing the overall program. And they've got Steve Gregory, who was associate defensive coordinator last year and called plays for the final, 4 regular season games in the bowl game. He is the full-time DC now. I think it's a pretty big risk, honestly. That's not to say that Gregory won't do a good job, but of course you go from a guy who is a proven, top 15 or 20 defensive coordinator in the sport based on his time at Notre Dame and also doing a good job last year. And you've got somebody who, prior to Vandy, I believe he was safety coach for the Miami Dolphins. So that's a pretty big difference in terms of experience. I don't think the team is going to change a lot. I think their talent has gotten better. They do have some questions at safety, but I think they've really improved on the edge and at corner. They've got some good depth at defensive tackle. But, I'm really curious to see whether there's a drop-off in terms of, coaching and play calling, because that is a question mark.
How many wins is Diego Pavia worth to this Vanderbilt team? Because I hope that he makes it through the season, Robbie, without being injured, without having to miss time. But his just physical nature, the way that he plays, and I know he's tough as nails, if he does miss time, what does that mean to Vanderbilt's quarterback situation, and how many wins or, as a result, losses does Diego Pavia mean to this particular team?
That's a great question. This is kind of one of the big themes of fall camp so far is other quarterbacks are not really playing very well, and the offense really drops off when he's not in there. So I think it depends on how many wins you view them as having this season. My prediction is either 6-6 or 7-5 in the regular season. I think if he were to just not play this season and Blaise Berlowitz were playing quarterback, I think there may be like a 4-8 team. So, I mean, it's at least 2 wins, if not 3, maybe even more. The backup, Berlowitz, does have a lot of arm talent. I think he has potential. He's a redshirt sophomore, but too many bad decisions, lots of interceptions in practice, and, they've been pretty honest about that. The offensive coordinator did an interview after the first scrimmage on Saturday, and just said, Blaise has been too up and down and too inconsistent. So, I mean, it really is a big drop-off right now, and that's a huge risk. I totally agree, because Pavia will put a shoulder into guys and try to finish runs really physically, and that does lend itself to getting injured.
If you take a look at Vandy's schedule, and you just mentioned a Landrum, you're looking at a 6-6, 7-5. That's the way you're looking at it as of this moment. You got to go to Virginia Tech, at South Carolina, at Bama, at Texas, at Tennessee. Now, you do get LSU, Mizzou, and Auburn at home. Is there one particular game, in your opinion, especially the beginning of the season, that if they were to get a victory there, that might be able to parlay that into a better season than a 6-6 or 7-5?
Probably South Carolina. They haven't beaten South Carolina in over 15 years, or maybe it's even been close to 20, something along those lines. And so I'm never going to pick them to win that game until they show it. But I do think there's potential for South Carolina, where they've got this top-heavy roster, right? With Nora Sellers and Dylan Stewart, if they commit that much money to 2 guys, is that going to set up the rest of your team to be successful? So who knows? I mean, if they were able to go in there and pull what would be a pretty big upset, then I think that changes a lot. But that's also asking a lot, right, when you haven't beaten a team since, 2008.
For Clark Lee and what he has already been able to do there, last season being one of those examples, got to meet him, got to meet his family a couple of SEC Media Days ago, and just seems like just a great guy. But for what he's done there at Vanderbilt, do you think that Clark Lee, he aspires to move on to maybe another program that we view as more of your prototypical powerhouse college football program, or do you think he's just one of those guys that's very comfortable where he is and you could see him there for a long time?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think Notre Dame would be tempting at some point, right? There are way fewer limitations in terms of recruiting there, not necessarily from an academic perspective, because that's a great school too, but the brand and the history of that program means you can recruit 5-star players there, whereas Vandy, they've never gotten a 5-star recruit. So I could see that being tempting at some point. At the same time, he has young-ish children, and he's from Nashville. This is a great city to live in. I'm sure his quality of life is great, and I doubt, he's itching to leave, from a, life in Nashville standpoint. But I could see, a few years from now, if he feels like he's maxed it out at Vandy and they can't get over the hump past, 7 or 8 wins, yeah, I don't really see why he wouldn't be tempted to go to a job that is like a legit annual national championship contender type of job. And Notre Dame would be the obvious one due to his history there.
All right, Robbie, before we let you go, I want to ask you about the stadium upgrade. Auburn will be there on November the 8th. What is the current status, and are there still tons of cranes and still a lot of construction left to be done at the stadium? Where does that currently stand?
There's not a ton of cranes. They're still working on the south end zone, and that is mostly, I think it's all premium seating, either clubs or suites. And I wouldn't think that most of those are going to be sold to visiting fans, just because you would have to sign up for season tickets, although, maybe some will do that. So that, by the time Auburn comes to town, I think that'll probably be completely done. Whether it's done entirely for the regular season opener on August 30th, I'm not really sure about that, but the building does look quite nice. I would assume capacity at the stadium is probably going to be something like 31 or 32,000 compared to, I want to say, prior to the renovations, it was in the mid to high 30,000. So capacity will be a little bit smaller, but the traditional visiting side of the stadium, those stands, they are pretty much unaltered. So it's really just both end zones that have been changed. And they look nice, but along the sidelines, those stands are still old and still the same.
That is Robbie Weinstein. He covers the Vanderbilt Commodores for 247. Robbie, always appreciate your time. I'm sure we will be talking again during the season as both Alabama and Auburn take on the Commodores. Thanks for your time today. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Okay, yep. Thanks for having me, guys.
That is Robbie Weinstein. Joins us on the Higginbotham Hotline. All of our guests join us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Well, we're a microwave society. We all know that. You want instant results. You don't want to take a whole lot of time out of your busy schedule. There's great news when it comes to electronic muscle stimulation fitness, boutique fitness, if you will. You can find it just across the way here in downtown Homewood. It's Mandu. You hear me talking about it all the time. Mandu, revolutionary approach, all FDA approved. It's safe, but it's a 15-minute workout. All of the technology, they put you in a suit, hook you up to a machine, let your pulses go to various muscle groups, whether you're trying to improve your arms, your shoulders, your chest, your legs, maybe the glutes. You can do it all. You can spot train. You can build up for endurance, but it's 15 minutes. They have tailor-made programs, whatever results you're trying to achieve, and I can promise you, you're going to get results. I've gotten results, and so many other Jox listeners who have taken me up on Mandu have gotten results as well. Really good news. First visit is absolutely free. They'll put you in a suit, put you through the 15-minute workout. You can decide if it is right for you. Mandu in downtown Homewood, MANDUU.com. Tell Paul and the gang that Landrum from Jox sent you. Got a lot of text, a lot of reaction. Robbie Weinstein joining us, talking Diego Pavia, expectations for Vanderbilt. That and so much more as we continue here on a festive Taco Tuesday live from Social Taco in Homewood. Landrum, Pat, Molly, and Conrad, three-man front on Jox.
Appreciate Robbie Weinstein joining the program, giving us a little thoughts or two on the mania that is Diego Pavia in the Music City. Says for him, looking at 6-6, 7-5. It's a heck of a schedule, man. Road trips. That's tough.
Well, for a guy
that's
that's
tough for
getting
anybody.
$4 million to play at Vanderbilt, 6 wins doesn't seem like a very good ROI, but I'm not smart like they are.
Yeah. Smart group up there.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to be extra smart, you can come join us and celebrate the kickoff to college football at the Bill Smith Buick GMC Jox Kickoff Party. It's at Regions Field on Thursday, August 21st, and the only way to go is by winning tickets. So to win a pair of tickets for you and a guest, text the keyword GO. Just GO, G-O, and your full name to 205-834-9450. Once again, the keyword is GO. And your full name to 205-834-9450. Winners are drawn and notified daily. And for more information, visit joxfm.com.
So yesterday about this time, we were all dissecting the AP preseason top 25 poll. It's interesting because, Molly, our poll question today was asking the audience, first off, if they pay much attention to any type of preseason poll, and if so, which one?
Yeah, so of course we gave you the AP Top 25, the Coaches Poll, the SEC Media Poll, and none. They're all a waste of time. And right now winning is none. They're all a waste of time with 66.8%. But of the polls, the AP Top 25 is winning, and it's not really close. It has 24.5%. The next is the Coaches Poll with only 6.4%. SEC Media with only 2.3%.
That surprises me.
Yeah, that surprises me.
Because I would think that the majority of the people would go, I put my faith in the coaches. But I think everyone also knows that most sports information directors are the ones that vote as opposed to the actual coaches. Man, no love for us SEC media. Only 2.3% of the audience.
Well, they've seen the outcome and the predicted score order of finish in the SEC. As a group, we're not very good at it. The AP, though, you've got more voters, right?
65.
You got 65?
65 voters, yep.
And how many of those cats are taking time to watch games, whether you're in this part of the country, you're staying up late to watch Washington State battle, whoever, or in that part of the country, are you really dialing in and watching a lot of SEC football? Or Big Ten football, for that matter. I guess Big Ten more so than the SEC.
So Brett McMurphy of On3, he did a very interesting exercise. He went back and he took a look at the AP's final rankings each season and compared that to the AP preseason top 25 from 2014 through last season. Just off the top of your head, would you like to take a guess at who is the most overrated team based on the numbers from 2014 through 2024?
Oh. It's got to be a blue blood. I will go.
The most overrated team in the top 25
in
the last 10 years.
Texas A&M.
I'll go USC.
Molly, you want to take a guess? Oh, you've got it pulled up.
I've been looking at it
since
it came out.
Cheater. It is Southern Cal.
All right.
Landrum was correct. Conrad said Texas A&M. They're the third most overrated team in the last 10 years.
Yeah, they're way
according
too
to the
low.
polls.
Way too low.
Coming in at number 2.
Utah.
It is not Utah. Utah is number 18 on the list.
They have screwed me.
You want to throw out another name?
Will you tell us the conference?
Yeah, will you tell us conference?
Southeastern.
Ooh,
It's interesting. 3 of the top 4 are from the Southeastern Conference.
I'll go Texas.
See, Texas, yep.
Texas comes in at 21.
What?
Wow. All right. SEC, let's go Florida.
Ooh,
Florida
LSU.
Florida did not make the top 25.
I'll go LSU.
The most overrated
I don't
teams.
know if that's a compliment or an indictment.
LSU is 4th.
LSU is 4th.
Okay.
So as of right now, you guys have got number 1, Southern Cal, number 3, Texas A&M, 4, LSU.
What about Tennessee?
Tennessee is not listed in the top 25 overrated teams in the last 10 years.
When is the time frame again?
2014 through last year.
How about Auburn?
Auburn is the second most overrated team according to Brett McMurphy's digging through the stats.
Over Texas A&M?
Over Texas A&M.
What?
Yep. They've got Southern Cal number 1, Auburn number 2, Aggies 3, LSU 4, Wisconsin at 5, FSU Dave Seminoles come in at 6, Oregon 7, Oklahoma 8, Miami 9, Michigan 10.
I don't know, but if we went 2020 through last season, and you're accounting for those seasons, Auburn wasn't projected to be very high. So that tells me and I remember some of those years, but from 14 to 19, that's making up for where they're basing this?
By the way, Georgia comes in at number 14. Alabama comes in at number 15. Clemson was 16. Arkansas 17. Notre Dame was 19. Nebraska.
Woo!
You're a top 20 overrated team, Molly.
Yeah, we are. No, I would actually agree with that. There were a couple times we were ranked in the preseason, like 20 through 25, and I was like, nah, not fam.
So I'm surprised. I need to do a little – I don't doubt Brett McMurphy's going back and finding that number, but I'm like you. I wouldn't put Auburn as the second most overrated.
2017, you were in the SEC championship game. 2014, that was not a bad Nick Marshall-led team. 16 was a big disappointment.
We're at the halfway point of three-man front on this Tuesday. Great crowd, as always, up here on the Taco Terrace. Almost a full house. Come on by and see us. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. Molly has already devoured the chicken feathers that Landrum and I had ordered about 20 minutes ago, so I guess we're going to have to order some more.
Yep.
They were good, though, right?
I've got some MREs in my backpack.
I got some crackers.
Saltines? You just want to split a saltine? Those chicken feathers are great.
No. Let me correct my statement. Landrum and I tore them up, and I think Molly's had one. You've had one, right? Mm-hmm. They're very good.
They are. One of them, I thought I needed a fork and knife. It was not a feather. It was a whole wing. It was a whole side of the bird. Yeah, they're delicious.
All right, so we were talking about the most overrated, according to Brett McMurphy, of the poll era over the last 10 years, and he gives a little bit of an explanation. He says Auburn hasn't been ranked in the preseason poll since 2020. The last 3 times Auburn has been ranked among the top 11 teams in the preseason poll, which was 15, 18, and 20. The Tigers finished the season unranked.
Okay.
Says the 3 most overrated programs, USC, Auburn, and Texas A&M, along with Florida State and Oklahoma, are the only programs that have begun in the top 10 only to finish unranked in 2 different seasons. So I guess that's why it's weighted, I suppose, is because of that reason.
Yeah, so you get more points to be, in this case, you don't want more points, but you get more points if you're really highly projected, just the difference there, the chasm in between where you're projected to be and then ultimately where you finish.
So USC, Auburn, Texas A&M, LSU, Wisconsin, those are the top 5 teams in the last 10 years that have been overrated by the pollsters. What about the most underrated teams? Have you seen that list, Molly?
Underrated's got to be Missouri.
Okay, you go Missouri. How about you, Molly?
I'll go, as much as it pains me.
Don't say Iowa.
No. I was going to go like an Oregon.
Okay. Conrad.
So we're doing most underrated teams in the AP poll for the last 10 years?
Yep, since 2014.
Ooh, most underrated?
You said Mizzou. You said Oregon.
I'll go with, I don't know, Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State.
I'll go with, I'm just going to keep, Baylor.
Baylor is not. Now, Mizzou was 15. Oregon was not listed in the
what about TCU?
TCU is 4th.
Okay.
What about UCF?
12th.
What about?
You guys are naming some good ones.
Like a BYU.
BYU is number 1.
Really?
They're the most underrated team in the last 10 years, according to the polls. Coming in at number 2 was Northwestern. Boise State was 3rd. TCU 4th. Iowa was 5th. Indiana 6th. Cincinnati 7. Mississippi State 8. Arizona State 9. SMU 10. Ole Miss was 23rd.
Okay.
And that's about it for the SEC teams. Because most of the SEC teams will be overrated most of the time, as opposed to underrated. So that's a very interesting list.
Who else is on that list? Okay, Oklahoma State. That was going to be one of my guesses.
They're 17.
Yeah. Interesting. So Kentucky coming in at 13. Yeah. I mean, none of those schools that are on this list look like they're out of place.
It's interesting that Army-Navy was both tied for 21st.
Yeah.
The service academies. Interesting.
Okay. So based on okay.
I would think BYU.
I'm trying to remember some of these team seasons. So Northwestern, I remember winning the West, playing for championships in the Big Ten.
Yeah, they played for a Big Ten title.
When I was in college.
They played for 2, didn't they?
They played for 2.
Yeah.
Knowing good and well they were not going to win. You remember the year that they went 8-4 in the regular season, lost their non-conference games, and ended up in the Big Ten championship game.
So you were at Nebraska when that happened?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they played
Pretty
Ohio
sure.
State in the COVID year, and
Yeah.
it was an ugly game. They almost beat them, from what I remember.
No Minnesota?
Oh, Minnesota.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
not listed. But also notice that Auburn has the best college football playoff odds of any unranked team and better odds than 9 teams that's listed in the top 25 poll. So that's a good value. I mean, Auburn is 60-1 to make the college football playoff, which is 16th best odds of any college football team. And they're not even a ranked team.
Yeah.
That's really good
If I
value.
remember from yesterday, they got better odds than Florida.
Yep, they do.
Who are the other schools out of the SEC?
I'm guessing they have better odds than South Carolina right now, because South Carolina I think they were in that same boat.
Let's see. So Bama has the 6th best odds, and they're ranked 8th in the preseason. LSU's got the 8th best playoff odds, but they're ranked 9th. South Carolina is tied for the 17th best odds to make the college football playoff. So Auburn's got better than South Carolina. What was the other one you just mentioned? Florida?
Florida, yeah.
I was about to say Florida and Auburn.
Florida they have better odds than Auburn.
Yeah, what I'm seeing right here is Auburn's right ahead of Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Tennessee.
Yeah, Florida's 33-1, that's 11th best odds to make the college football playoff.
And that's according to
betonline.ag.
Okay.
As of this moment, Oklahoma has better odds than Auburn. They're 40-1.
Yeah, let's just wait for that news cycle.
Ole Miss has better odds
than
Auburn. They're 50-1.
Where's A&M?
They're probably like 2-1 odds, Landrum.
They're tied for 11th. They're 33-1.
Of course they are.
So one of the big stories yesterday that we were talking about was the potential of Ty Simpson, and that became official. And now, Molly, with Ryan Grubb speaking to the media, he has made it official.
Yeah, he just confirmed Ty Simpson will be Alabama's starting quarterback, and he says there's been no decision made about number 2 yet.
Okay.
Every Alabama fan's favorite player on the roster, QB2, baby.
Very much so.
Roll number 2.
So speaking of odds, I just saw this too, that they just released moments ago. How many losses will the national championship team end up with?
1.
2.
I think 2.
1 is not even on the board.
Okay. That's why I'm going with 1.
Good
2
value.
to 3 losses have the best odds at -140. I'm sorry. Yeah, 1. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. 1 loss has the best odds.
Okay.
Sorry. Undefeated has the 2nd best odds, and 2 losses have the 3rd best odds. I don't know, man. Just a team going all the way in this college football playoff era.
I think undefeated, any conference that you play in, whatever your schedule is going to be, it's just really, really tough. It's always been tough, but I think it's added tough this year.
Wait, so there's better odds that
Lack
someone
of
goes
depth.
undefeated than has 1 loss?
No, than losing 2 games.
Oh, okay.
Yes, if you losing 1, it is -140 on the money line. For a team to go undefeated, it's +175. And if you lose 2 games, it's +250. So what Vegas is saying that the best chance is a team with 1 loss winning the national championship.
Okay. So as far as a 2-loss team, we can see Texas losing to Ohio State, or flipping that and saying Ohio State loses to Texas in that opening game. Ohio State loses to Michigan again. Texas loses to Georgia again. And then they run the table the rest of the way. You got your 2-loss champion.
Okay, so in regards to the best chances of a school to go undefeated for this upcoming season and obviously win the national championship, there are two schools that have the best odds. They're tied at 4-1 odds of that happening. Would you like to take a guess who those two schools are?
Are they from?
But one of them is going to be Notre Dame.
Penn State.
Molly says Penn State. Do you have another guess?
I'll go Texas.
Okay.
I'll go Oregon.
Do you go Penn State along with Molly on that?
Yeah, I think Penn State.
Okay. Conrad?
I'll go Notre Dame and Texas instead
Notre
of
Dame's
the
a
number
good
one team.
Mm-hmm.
As of this moment, the two teams that Vegas favors the most to go undefeated, Notre Dame and Ohio State.
Wow.
Oregon then has the next best odds along with Penn State, then Texas, and how about this? Alabama, Clemson, and Georgia all have the next best odds at plus 550.
Hey, there's another feather in the SEC's cap. Why do you think the Big Ten's up there? Got an easier schedule for those teams.
That's right.
Isn't that something? Well, one thing's for sure, the recruiting world is seeing an uptick for the Auburn Tigers. How much do we anticipate over the next couple weeks? Well, we'll ask On 3 and Rivals Steve Wilfong what's next up for the Auburn Tigers, and can Alabama hold on to a top 5 recruiting class? All that next on 3 Man Front. It's 12:15. Welcome back. This is Three Man Front. We're live at Social Taco. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. And Landrum, the menu, they had added a couple items about 2 months ago, and they have been a huge success over the summertime months.
Yeah, they've got the Mexican pizzas. That's what we call them. They call them something else that I cannot pronounce, but it's the official name. But it's, think about Mexican pizza, but just kicked up a notch with the buffalo chicken pizza. But if you're thinking buffalo chicken, it's delicious. But if you're not crazy about buffalo chicken, it's really not the buffalo chicken that you're thinking about. Also, the guacamole, you can add the bacon, all kinds of different sandwiches. If you're feeling like a sandwich, you're not really feeling like Mexican food. Social Taco. And don't forget about brunch on the weekends. 10 to 2:30 on Saturdays, 10 to 2:30 on Sundays. The bottomless tapas brunch. It is to die for. It's socialtaco.bar. Check out the menu. Availability. They're at your leisure.
Well, one thing's for sure, Auburn fans feeling much better over the course of the last few weeks in regards to where their recruiting rankings currently stand. They were in the 70s just a few weeks ago. A big-time commitment late last week. They now have, according to On3 and Rivals, the Auburn Tigers now find themselves in the top 40 at number 37. And more good news could be on the horizon for the Auburn Tigers. And joining us now from On3 and Rivals, Steve Wiltfong joins us here on Three Man Front. Steve, I hope you're doing well on this Tuesday.
Guys, doing well, just trying to keep up with everything. But fall camp is upon us. The season is around the corner. And that's really where Auburn is going to make its hay on the recruiting trail in 2026 and beyond. You know, the first couple of cycles, Hugh Freeze and his staff were able to go out and pull in top 10 recruiting classes. But the time is now to go out there and win and show the recruits what this program is capable of. You know, Hugh Freeze and company, when they went on the trail the last two cycles, pointed to their resumes, their outstanding resumes. This is what we're going to build at Auburn. We've won everywhere we've been, but now kids want to see it. That's why it's been a little slower for Auburn on the trail this cycle. But if Auburn can come out and have a season like Florida did, finish strong, do better, and I know the aspirations are better, and they should be higher with the way they recruited, the way they've gone in the transfer portal. We're going to see Auburn be able to really come back around in November, come back on some recruits that they didn't win the first time around, and maybe pull into a top 10 class like Florida did. But the job will be done on the field this year. High expectations there should be as Auburn tries to compete for a college football playoff spot.
Steve, we got to start with Jace Matthews from the state of Mississippi, I think number 2 overall in the country at wide receiver. Describe for listeners not seeing Jace Matthews play what Auburn and Hugh Freeze appear to be getting.
Well, they got a guy that can create separation, a guy that can make plays with the football after the catch, and a guy that can win one-on-one balls in traffic, one of the top wide receivers in the country. The way Auburn has recruited the wide receiver position, what they've been able to do in the transfer portal, there is a standard in that room. Jace Matthews certainly meets that. He's someone that'll be able to come in and push whoever is on the roster that's older than him. And then certainly there'll be some opportunity for him to compete right away because of what Auburn could lose following the season.
Steve, in regards to what may potentially be in the pipeline for Auburn over the course of the next few weeks, and I know you just mentioned the proof will be in the pudding for a lot of folks in regards to Auburn going out and getting the wins, but in regards to what may be on the ultimate horizon here over the next couple of weeks or the next month or so, do you see anything or anyone that Auburn fans should keep their eyes on?
Well, obviously, the number one safety in the country, Braylon Womack out of Hartsfield Academy in the state of Mississippi. He's going to commit before month's end, and Auburn is one of the front runners. Florida is the program that I think they're really battling with. Ohio State and Texas A&M rounding out the top 4, but Auburn surged in this recruitment with a great summer official visit. His sister plays softball for the Auburn Tigers. The chance for them to go to the same school is it makes this opportunity extra enticing. I think Auburn has done a good job on the NIL front with Braylon Womack. But Florida is charging hard. He's still having final conversations with all of his finalists, but that's a big fish out there for Auburn and Braylon Womack.
As far as the criticism that came with Hugh Freeze and this Auburn staff early in the recruiting cycle, Steve, I know that you pointed towards you've got to sell now proof on the field. Kids need to see results. Some of that had to do with Auburn's interpretation of the rules according to Auburn, and some of those written offers not being able to go out until August 1st or beyond. Based on folks that you've talked to, how much of an impact did that have in the early recruiting for Hugh Freeze?
Look, I just know in the modern recruiting era, Auburn had top 10 classes the last 2 cycles, so I think that the Tigers are well-versed to compete in the modern recruiting era, and maybe what the Auburn staff has said to the media about adapting to the new rules and new elements of college football going into this cycle holds true, but I still think it's more about what are they going to look like on the field. And I'd be excited if I'm an Auburn fan about the potential that this team has on the field because of the way they've recruited, the way they've gone into the transfer portal and addressed key positions of need, key positions in winning ball games. And they've stocked this roster with talented football players, and now it's time to go put it together on the field and show recruits from here on out that Auburn is a program that is going to compete for SEC championships and is going to be in the college football playoff conversation year in and year out.
Steve Wiltfong joins us from Rivals and On3. We're talking a little recruiting for Alabama and Auburn. So let's talk about the Tide. Right now, Alabama, according to the Rivals rankings, at number 7 with 21 verbal commitments, 4 5-stars. What can you tell us about this Alabama class, a little bit of work that they have left to do, and in your opinion, do you think they'll be able to hold on to those 4 5-stars?
Yeah, I think that right now you're not in any kind of concern with Alabama and this class that ranks number 7 nationally right now. I think if they could, they'd go out there and flip Anthony Tank Jones, a 5-star edge rusher that chose Oregon over Alabama and Texas A&M during the summer. Maybe they'd like to add another offensive lineman, but I think they feel great about this recruiting class as it stands now. 2 4-star quarterbacks in the fold, a 5-star safety in Jaira Edwards out of Baltimore, St. Francis, Maryland, and then to beat Texas, to beat Florida State for 5-star edge rusher Xavier Griffin out of the Peach State. You know, they went out and landed some difference makers, and this was a year where they really prioritized the state. This is one year where they thought that there were a lot of prospects within the home boundary that could help them compete at the levels that they want to. Sedarian Morgan, running back Xavier Crowell. Those were 2 massive in-state recruiting wins. You know, let's not forget 5-star corner Jordan Edmonds from Sprayberry High in Georgia. Alabama putting together the best back 7 classes in the country with the way that they've kind of recruited the edge of their defense and then in the secondary.
Alabama, obviously, Steve, with the quality, the rating of each recruit now with only 21 commitments. You have other schools like Georgia there at the top with 10 more commitments at this point, but seeing some traction with Texas A&M, and I know you wrote about it, but you've got some pretty positive momentum, I would think, right now for Coach Elko and the Aggies.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and they might be in a similar situation as Hugh Freeze and company next year, but Texas A&M 1 game away from making the SEC title game in year 1. You figure they're going to take another step forward in year 2 as they bring back their quarterback, Marcel Reed, who's kind of been through it and got a taste of it last season. You expect him to take a step forward under Coach Klein and company, but they've added some real quality depth to that quarterback room with Jacob Zeno, Miles O'Neill, and so that's what pushes the room. That's what makes guys get better. So certainly with Coach Elko, he's going to instill a toughness in your program. He's going to instill accountability. You saw how competitive he was able to make a Duke program and how quickly a Texas A&M program that really needed a culture adjustment from the previous regime, how Mike Elko was able to get those guys in there to play hard for each other, believe in each other. It was a team that went into that Texas game with a chance to play for the SEC championship, and they gave the Longhorns hell. Really battled Texas there in that regular season ball game that sent Texas to the SEC title game.
Steve, I want to ask you about USC because Lincoln Riley has been a disappointment at USC. But right now, according to Rivals on 3, Southern Cal has the number 1 recruiting class with 32 verbal commitments. They got 2 5-stars, but 20 4-stars listed. Now, is this a situation for Southern Cal similar to Auburn about having to go out and actually prove it on the field? Do you think they'll be able to hold on to this impressive group of players right now if USC has another lackluster season?
Well, absolutely. They need to go out there on the field and show that they're continuing to improve. And if you look at last year, maybe their record wasn't what you wanted it to be, but they showed tremendous improvement on the defensive side of the ball. They were in a lot of those ball games, and they bring back their coaching staff. So there's some, infrastructure that is certainly now more aligned, right? And so I expect them to take another step forward. Lincoln Riley's first season, they made the Pac-12 championship game, and if Caleb Williams doesn't get hurt, maybe they're in the college football playoff that first season. Obviously, they took a step back over the last two campaigns, so it's a big year for Lincoln Riley and company to prove why they were brought to Southern Cal. But as far as keeping the recruits in the fold, the Trojans did a good job of investing to get these guys committed, and so they seem to have it figured out off the field. So I think, they go out there and get it done on the field, status quo with this class.
You mentioned Auburn, and still some work to do, but they could close strong and have one of those top 10, top 15 ranked classes. Who is another team that right now people aren't really noticing when it comes to national recruiting rankings that you think could make a major push and have something to say when it's all said and done?
Well, how about South Carolina, the Gamecocks? Sitting looking for another top 20 class. They got 5-star offensive lineman Darius Gray out there. They're battling LSU for him as he goes to make his commitment later later this month. And then they had some tough in-state recruiting wins that went against them. Samari Matthews to Texas, Tamarian Watkins to Texas A&M. They're going to continue to recruit those coveted in-state guys that committed elsewhere. If South Carolina takes another step forward this fall, that puts them in the college football playoff. They have Lenoris Sellers under center. He's a Heisman Trophy candidate. South Carolina, with how hard Shane Beamer goes on the recruiting trail, if they go out there and have a great football season, I could see them being another program that flips some guys that they lost the first time around.
That is Steve Wiltfong. You can follow his work at On3 and Rivals. Steve, I know it's a busy time. Always appreciate you carving out a couple minutes for us, talking some Alabama, Auburn, and SEC recruiting. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Appreciate it. Steve Wiltfong, he joined us. All of our guests do on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Well, how about our friends there at the Finnick? The Finnick right there next to Railroad Park in downtown Birmingham. Not only is it a great place for watching sports with all the video boards, the large screens, the optimum house sound, but also you want to go in, you want to hear live music, that is your place. So it's two great things there in one at the Finnick. You can find them there next to Railroad Park. And you got Wednesday through Friday, you're going to get the live acoustic acts. Saturday, Sunday, Monday for the football season, no music to get in the way. And you can enjoy sports with the sound turned up on the big games. They also have NFL Sunday Ticket, Red Zone, all of that good stuff. Wonderful menu that you can check out with some very tasty items that they've added just in time for the fall. It's a Finnick. They're also available there late in the afternoons. You want to enjoy a happy hour, you can do that. They're going to have their food waiting on you if you choose, and you call ahead. It's the Finnick in downtown Birmingham. Check them out, finnickbham.com. Check out their list of acts, all of their events, and the tasty menu, and we appreciate their partnership here on Jox.
When we come back on Three-Man Front, we're going to give you an update. There is some new information coming out about John Mateer, the quarterback at Oklahoma. An internet report yesterday afternoon surfaced in which his Venmo account appeared he was paying some guys that he knows and some football players for gambling. Where does that stand? We potentially could have a statement later this afternoon. That's next on Three-Man Front. What a great breakdown of the national recruiting scene. Steve Wiltfong joined us. If you missed that interview, download the Three Man Front podcast. Early in the show, we got a preview of the Vanderbilt Commodores for 2025. Robbie Weinstein joined us from 247. And in hour number 1, if you missed Mike Griffith, his normal Tuesday visit, we almost got him pissed off, right?
Almost.
We almost did. We got him going.
Yep.
He did take his proverbial, it's a court-mandated shot at Alabama.
Right.
Every single Tuesday. He got that in early.
And he went to school in the state of Michigan, but he took some shots at that state.
Yeah, he doesn't like the Big Ten.
Well, he's a Southern guy now.
Yeah.
Well, he's always been a Southern guy. He's born in Mobile, and, of course, a property owner on the Alabama Gulf Coast.
Okay, Conrad, summarize where things stood last night with John Mateer, the quarterback at Oklahoma. If you'll just give everyone a brief update on what took place and where it stood last night as we went to bed.
Yeah, so it started off with a post from an account that we have now figured out is a fake Twitter account that had posted essentially saying, hey, there's some allegations that Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer may have been gambling on college football back in 2022 based on Venmo notifications or Venmo transactions that were seen on his account. So those screenshots started getting passed around of a couple of transactions between him and another guy 3 years ago in which sports gambling was the caption on the Venmo transaction. So obviously people started running wild and assuming that this meant that he had been illegally placing bets on college football while he would have been a freshman at the time at Washington State. And that's essentially where we were last night. There were some other screenshots that went around of some derogatory terms that he had used on Venmo as well that people were not happy about. But really, Pat, it just came down to these allegations of him of gambling on sports and college football through Venmo. We found out the account was fake, but it looks like the actual Venmo receipts may be legitimate.
So that was last night. So earlier this morning, Sooner Scoop, who is the On3 site that covers the Oklahoma Sooners, they're reporting that they have spoken to several people inside the school and the program, and they're reporting that Mateer has been in contact with the athletic department and compliance. The school is aware of the situation, and they're handling it. Now, word is from multiple sources that Mateer is going to release a statement this afternoon addressing the accusations. Now, as of earlier this morning, according to Soonerscoop.com, Oklahoma has not heard from the NCAA. Sooner Scoop is reporting they have a feeling that OU and Mateer will both, in conjunction, release a statement as well later today. So that's where we are.
Okay. We wait for the statement. What's your guess? What does John Mateer come out and say?
I think he's going to say that obviously he had Venmo transactions and that he absolutely 100% did not gamble on football. Maybe they, friends playing video games together, or maybe they wagered on stuff like that. But there is no way, shape, or form that he is going to come out and release a statement that he gambled on
Do you
football.
think any of it addresses, Conrad, the unflattering words that were used in some of these captions?
Oh, yeah, that'll definitely be part of the statement. It will
I think that's the biggest part of it.
I think you're right. I don't think it's the gambling at all. I think it's some of the pejoratives that were used on Venmo.
No, and you'll hear him say, that was me, as a young, dumb 18-year-old just out of high school. That was something that was meant to stay between me and my friends, and I have now learned and grown from that, and I understand that that is unacceptable language, and I'll do better in the future. Something
Conrad,
along those lines.
for our listeners, without us spelling it out for him, without us saying the actual terms that he used, get creative. We have to do it on the text line all the time. Just to give an idea of the nature of these comments.
A lot of use of a word that you could also use to say that you are happy.
Okay. There it is.
A word that is used in Deck the Halls.
There you go.
Okay.
I think you're right. I think that will be the major address that he will release in a statement. I do not believe that it will have anything. I mean, I think he's going to say that he denies, just like he's told Oklahoma, that he did not gamble on any football, and that he's also going to come out and say, hey, listen, a little bit of this salty language you saw on Venmo, If that offended anybody, I apologize.
And I know this might not be popular, but if he sent I know it's against the rules, but a $25 bet on USC and UCLA, and then he bet on some Lakers games, and then he threw in a bet for the Super Bowl, it's not a repeated pattern. He throws in a little bit every now and then. I don't have a problem with him playing football this year for Oklahoma. Now, if they were to uncover, like U.S. Integrity or somebody else were to uncover that, no, there's a lot more here. This guy's been betting on a lot of college games.
So
yeah, that's an issue.
Okay, so let me ask this question, and I don't think that he would come out and say this because I feel like it would be kind of dumb to admit this, but maybe he does. Let's say that he comes out and he goes, yeah, those Venmo transactions are correct. Me and my buddy, we made a $20 friendly wager on the USC-UCLA game in 2022. He won. I sent him $20. That was that. Is that something that the NCAA can drop the hammer on and say, well, that's illegal gambling, or does that get, okay, clean bill of health, you're good to go?
Man, if the NCAA at this point, you agree with this? The NCAA at this point, if they came out and they said, nope, we've decided that he's deemed ineligible, how quick would a lawsuit come?
That'd be pretty quick.
From the University of Oklahoma or John
let's just say that
camp.
The NCAA comes out and says, hey, we're going to suspend you for a game, 2 games, 3 games, whatever the case may be. Oh, yeah, now they'll be in front of a judge by sundown getting a TRO, trying to get that overturned in a heartbeat.
So even if the NCAA is well within their rights to enforce this, Oklahoma and John Mateer, they're going to be quick to the legal team because everybody else has had success. Why not?
Well, the bottom line is once again, the NCAA does not have subpoena power. So, if it's 2 buddies sitting around watching a game and they bet each other $20 on whatever, I mean, how are you going to prove that? Now, if you've got an account through betonline.ag or FanDuel or DraftKings or something else, and you can see that there's been money exchanged hands on something like that, then it's a different animal. But I don't think 2 friends sitting around betting on what's going to happen and whatever, I don't think that they're going to do anything about it.
Has anybody gone through his PayPal or his Cash App accounts?
I'm sure somebody has, and if somebody in John Mateer's camp, I'm sure that they've already done
give
that
me
as
all
well.
Give me all your stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going through all of your stuff.
Yeah. So expect a statement from Oklahoma and John Mateer this afternoon, but all indications are that he has been forthright with Oklahoma. He has been steadfast in his statement in regards to the university that he did not bet on football. So we'll see what happens there. In Tuscaloosa a little bit earlier today, Ryan Grubb, the Crimson Tide offensive coordinator, he was meeting with the media, and of course he backed up the report yesterday in which Ty Simpson is QB1 for the Alabama Crimson Tide. So now he is being asked if a decision has been made on the number 2 quarterback between Austin Mack and Keelan Russell. Direct quote, no, nope. We're still working through all that. Those guys will continue to rep. I think you would be pigeonholing a little bit on reps and opportunities for both of these guys to get better. So that was Ryan Grubb's statement on quarterback number 2.
Need depth. You got to make sure that you're smart about how you do it. So do you string them along a little bit? Austin Mack, he's made a lot of strides. Keelan Russell, he's the future. It's delicate. You got to keep everybody happy this day and age.
Absolutely. And I think you won't hear who the number 2 guy is till probably well after the second scrimmage, which is coming up this weekend. Let's go to the phones, 1-800-239-WJOX. Let's go to Gringo. Gringo was not here today, but I understand he's in paradise.
Yeah.
Is that where he is?
You can call it paradise. Beautiful Gulf Shores. We're dodging a little bit of rainstorms here and there, but everything's looking great.
You seen any sharks?
No sharks. Have seen some dolphins, so we're hoping that's a good sign.
That is a good sign if you're seeing dolphins instead of sharks.
Absolutely. As I was telling Conrad, paying off gambling debt through Venmo, really?
Yeah, let that be a lesson to all kids that play college football. That's just not a wise thing to do. If he was doing that.
No, that's not a wise thing. If he was doing that, yeah. As we say in the news world, allegedly.
Yes. You need to put that in front of that every time. So what's on deck for this afternoon? You said there's some rain. Make us jealous. You're down at the beach right now. What's on tap?
Yeah.
A little seafood tonight?
Well, tonight we're going to be inside tonight. We ate out the last 2 nights. Had a good time. I'm meeting another friend from the city of Hoover who retired with me. I'm going to meet him tomorrow night. We're going to relive old times and enjoy.
Landrum has told me that he has taken care of your homestead very nicely. Everything's up to par.
I love your mattress.
He says it's really comfortable.
It sleeps great. Yes. Yep.
Your
By the way,
isn't bad either.
now everything's good there at the house. Harley's good.
I know he was in great hands.
Yeah, he is. He's in great hands.
Well, Gringo, enjoy the rest of your trip down at the beach, and we look forward to you returning to your normal stoop right here at Social Taco on Tuesdays.
Well, look, tell everyone there I said hello. I miss them, and it sounds like you do have a great crowd. I don't hear Don too loud. So
well, you hadn't been listening long.
Yeah, he's literally like 10 feet away.
You could have heard the biography of Joab Thomas about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, he and PG are holding court as we speak.
Well, you've had some good conversations today on Auburn recruiting and SEC recruiting, so keep up the great work. I'm listening from the beach.
Sounds great. Thank you, Gringo. Well, have a safe trip, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
I'll be there.
All right. Thank you, Gary. Gary giving us a call. 1-800-239-WJOX. We're live on the Taco Terrace. Come on by and see us. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. This is Three-Man Front on Jox. We're back at Social Taco. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. Stop on by and see us. Have a late lunch. Nice crowd, as always. We're here each and every Tuesday from 10 until 2. Water does not need an invitation. It can find its way into your crawl space of your home, bringing along mold, mildew, pests, wood rot. But APS has a solution. Call them today, 205-951-9717. The APS crawl space encapsulation system. It can seal out the moisture, block the pests, and they can even help reduce your energy costs. Every home is different. That's why the engineers at APS can come and give you a plan specifically for your foundation. Crawl space problems don't fix themselves. They get better when you call APS 205-951-9717. Visit their website, alabamaprofessional.com. APS, protecting Alabama homes since 1977.
Text line is open, 205-834-9450. John Mateer, a statement is expected from the Oklahoma quarterback later on today. Accusations of sports gambling, also demeaning language in some of those Venmo transactions. Thomas, text, if sports gambling is illegal, you cannot split hairs on how much. Where do you make the decision on what is okay and what is not? I don't know if he's asking that from just my personal opinion on what I said or from the NCAA. Not sure. Thomas, follow up.
Well, I think he might be about what I was saying where, well, if you're just gambling with your buddy for $20, why should that matter? And I guess the idea for the NCAA being all gambling is bad gambling, right?
Okay. Going back to Pat trying to subtly hint at the word, or maybe one of the words that John Mateer used. He said it was in the Christmas song, Deck the Halls. Someone said, so you mean the word holly. Holly was not the word, or jolly. John from Dothan. In the Alabama quarterback battle for backup, if Austin Mack isn't QB2, what are the chances he transfers? Another question, do you think he would with the ties he has going back with DeBoer? I will answer the last question about his ties with, I think that Austin Mack would leave if he had an opportunity to go make money and go be a starter somewhere else.
But he can't leave until after the season. So even
Correct.
if he's named third-string quarterback, he's still going to be on the roster.
Yes, unless he chooses just not to participate.
Well, correct, which I think that would be a bad move, but yeah.
He's going to take the year off to train. What are the chances he transfers if he's not named QB2? Your opinion?
I would think he would leave.
I would think so as well.
But to be fair, we thought he was going to leave this spring as well.
And that's why I say, just based on the information I had in the spring, folks were very surprised that he did not leave after spring practice. So
this one reads, explain the chicken feathers to us listeners who have yet to experience Social Taco. It's pulled white meat chicken that is battered and deep fried, and they're delicious.
It's heaven in your mouth.
It's like a cross between a chicken tender and a chicken nugget. They're not uniformly shaped. Every feather has its own distinct pattern.
It's like
shape.
a snowflake.
It's like a snowflake.
Yes.
And as far as chicken nuggets go, I would put them right up there at the very top of chicken nugget type foods I've had, along with the place that's closed on Sundays. It is that good.
Bug Guy texts in, going back to most overrated college football program since 2014. Auburn came in at number 2, just behind USC at number 1. Bug Guy said, yeah, McMurphy's right. Almost all the Gus years, Auburn was preseason top 10 and fell on their face. 2014, they were 8-5. 15, 7-6. 2016 says wasn't ranked entering the season. 2017, decent. Yeah, I would say they made it to the SEC championship game. And then 2018, 8-5. How soon y'all forget? No, didn't forget. I just thought it was interesting based on that time period that you just said, those 5 seasons, and based on 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, and 24, that would have to be really, 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 really disappointing in that 5-year snapshot to achieve the number 2 ranking. That was my point. Thank you, Bug Guy. No, trust me, doing what we do, we have not forgotten. Because we hear it all the time. Whether it's from a bragging Alabama fan or a distraught like Don Auburn fan. Justice says, list must be 1 point for each year that have been overrated, not 1 point per place. They were overranked. USC would be at the top place either way. I don't see how Alabama would be in this list at all, being top 5, top 10 every single year.
All right, so I just went back and I looked at this. So during the Nick Saban era, Alabama was preseason number 1 team. Let's see here. Only one time under Nick Saban, they were preseason ranked number 1. Isn't that crazy?
That is nuts.
Really? Only one time?
Wait, it's the wrong poll. Sorry. Correct that.
What poll were you looking at?
I was looking at a poll that's no longer in service for obvious reasons.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, the UPI for a long time they were still doing polls, even though United Press International was no longer a thing. It used to be AP and the UPI, and then the coaches poll took over for the UPI. So Alabama in 2022, they were ranked preseason number 1, and they finished 5th in America. In 2021, Alabama was preseason number 1. They finished number 2. In 2018, preseason number 1, finished number 2. 2017, preseason number 1, finished 1. 2016, Alabama, preseason number 1, finished number 2. In 2013, this was the bad one. 2013, they were preseason number 1. They were predicted to win their 3rd consecutive national championship. They finished 7th. Then in 2010, Greg McElroy, starting quarterback for Alabama after the national championship season, they were preseason number 1, and they finished 10th.
10-3, right?
Yep.
Pete
So
Solari.
6 number 1 rankings in the preseason.
Yep.
You got to watch out for the memo line on Venmo. When Jerry Springer was mayor of Cincinnati running for governor of Ohio, he was forced to withdraw from the race because it was found that he had hired a woman of negotiable virtue. He was caught because he paid her with a check. Yikes. Memo lines. We got an hour left. The jam-packed, always anticipated 4th hour, 3-man front live from Social Taco in Homewood comes your way next.
We're back at Social Taco. This is three-man front on Jox, Pat, Landrum, Molly, Conrad, with you until 2 o'clock. Thanks for tuning us in. Thanks to everyone that has stopped by, had an extended lunch with us each and every Tuesday here at Social Taco in Homewood. You know, school's back in session. It's time to roll in a new season in style with Courtesy GMC. Right now, get up to $14,000 off all new GMC Sierra 1500s. Save $5,000 on every Yukon XL, and the all-new Acadia. Yep, the 2026 are on the lot. $10,000 off the powerful 2025 Sierra HDs, plus every new GMC comes with a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. That's peace of mind that lasts. You need to get by to see Drew Lally, Josh Gargis, and the fantastic team there at Courtesy GMC. They're going to take care of you just like they have with me. Multiple cars, family members have gone to Courtesy GMC, and I know many of our Jox 94.5 listeners, they have done the exact same thing. You need to take advantage of Courtesy GMC. You're not going to find a better deal. Lowest price on any GMC is right there in Trussville off of I-459 exit 32. Lowest prices in the Southeast. Visit their website, courtesybirmingham.com. We are awaiting a possible statement from the University of Oklahoma and John Mateer, the starting quarterback for the Sooners, as an internet report came out last night that it had appeared that he allegedly was gambling on football. Soonerscoop.com, the on-3 site for Oklahoma, they are reporting it in the last hour that he has been very forthright with Oklahoma officials, saying that he has never gambled. That is a pretty strong word, never. Now, that doesn't mean that you didn't bet on football, but to say you have
never gambled,
that is a very strong word to use.
And people have figured out that where he went to high school in Texas, is apparently about 20 or 30 minutes away from a quite large casino. So obviously, like you said, some people may be taking issue with the "I've never done that" comment. Maybe don't be so definitive.
Well, never gamble what, formally?
I mean, I would have to say that everybody in this Taco Terrace right now has gambled.
Yes. If you've participated in an office football pool,
you have gambled.
A bracket, you've gambled.
Even Molly has gambled.
If you have bought a
admit.
raffle ticket, you have gambled.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say having a 401k, you gamble.
That's
every single day.
Not that he's under oath and he's sitting on a stand, but I probably wouldn't have said
the word never
gamble. So now somebody is going to make it their mission to go and prove that you have gambled at some point.
Yeah, and that's the problem. So we'll see what happens as Oklahoma and John Mateer will be releasing a statement. And Molly, we were doing a little work a little bit earlier in regards to this so-called reporter that came out with this story last night, and it appears that, what was his name again?
Brian Aguada.
Does he have a podcast?
Well,
was he at SEC Media Days?
The photo is of Zach Ashton Reese.
He was a hockey player.
Yes. From Staten Island, New York.
He changed his identity.
He sure did.
He went to Fargo. Nobody would find him. Wood chipper.
And it's just interesting because in his bio he put the Fargo news channel or something, right? Valley News or something?
Yeah, Valley News Live from Fargo, North Dakota.
I met the weather lady from Bismarck when I was in Wisconsin. Yeah. She was nice. I don't know if she knows this guy, or does this guy actually exist?
That's the thing. I don't know if this is...
And so, Molly, you said this guy is he's a hockey player or used to be a hockey player?
The picture is.
Well, the picture. I'm not saying that this account.
No. But is that the name that's attached to the account is the name of the hockey player?
No.
Right?
No.
Oh, it's not? Oh, okay.
No.
Just the photo.
No.
So imagine being that guy waking up today. What in the world?
But for those that have never used AI before, you could go in and say, AI, give me a picture of Landrum Roberts eating a corn dog while watching the Atlanta Braves.
Don't do that.
What?
But yes, you could do that.
And then AI would spit out.
They would do it.
They would go capture as many public photos.
What about AI?
Of Landrum.
Create a photo of a barrel full of hot dogs falling on Pat Smith's face.
Okay, sure.
It would do that.
Yeah. It would go grab as many pictures of me that is readily available on Google or whatever, and that they would create an image. And so, obviously, this individual probably used AI to correct or to create that image that they use for AI in regards to who that individual is.
All right, fools people all the time. We're sitting across the room from one.
That's true. It's very true.
That was a real picture, at least.
Yes, the photo is real.
Yeah, the photo was. Well,
and you said it's like 10 years old, right?
It's from the Northeastern Huskies hockey team.
Now, who's the individual? The real person?
Zach Aston Reese.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real person that the picture is of.
Okay. Zach Aston Reese.
The one you were talking about, Landry.
He now plays for the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Okay.
That poor guy. Now,
well, he's like going, what's going on
now
here?
the NHL launches an investigation into him.
Well, and I guess this is just like, honestly, a more advanced version. I'm sure y'all have seen this or heard about it before, but do you remember when, I'm sure it still happens, but people would go around and make like a fake Facebook account, and they would just take pictures off of your profile and make their name, and then they would start messaging people. And stuff like that used to happen.
People still do that.
Yeah, stuff like that used to happen all the time. This is just
They do it a lot of
advanced
times in broken English when they type it out.
Yes.
I mean, it's just like I see all these people claiming to be Landrum on TikTok, and I know he's not on TikTok. As he rolls his eyes like, maybe it is me.
Not Landrum.
It's your alter ego?
My TikTok name.
Oh, your TikTok name.
Yes.
Oh.
John Mateer's bookie.
That would be a good
that
Twitter
would be
account.
Good. Yeah, somebody needs to come up with that right now.
That would
a good
be
burner.
Good. Yeah.
So I did see during the break where apparently, I mean, obviously this has now continued after the John Mateer thing. And I don't know, it may have been a doctored up screenshot, but somebody was going through Marcel Reed's Venmo and found where he had Venmo'd somebody for a cover charge to go into a bar before he was 21 years old. And so, of course, you had some people.
What did I say? You got to be careful with Venmo.
No, what's going to be great is when they find out that some of these other players, they have Venmo'd fellow students, and it says term paper. Took a test.
Took my test. Took my ACT.
But again, it all comes back to, does it really matter anymore? I'm not talking about from an ethical or a morality standpoint. Does it really matter when it comes to being eligible to play a season? Now, gambling, yes. If they were able to trace that back to John Mateer, I don't know how much it would have to be, but they could rule him ineligible. But on the flip side of that, if I'm Oklahoma and how many millions, or at least $1 million that you have invested in John Mateer in this season, and you've got a head coach and his coaching staff coaching for their lives in survival in Norman, you're probably going to fight it, and you're going to bring out your guys that you and ladies that you have on retainer.
Yeah.
To fight that battle for you.
1-800-239-WJOX, 205-834-9450. We talked about ESPN and the NFL. It still has to go through regulators in Washington, D.C., but a lot of people are excited about NFL and ESPN joining forces. NFL is going to get 10% of equity in ESPN. Meanwhile, ESPN is taking over the NFL Network and the NFL Red Zone. Scott Hansen, who is the host of the award-winning NFL Red Zone channel, he was on the Rich Eisen radio show yesterday. Take a listen to what Scott Hansen had to say about the potential of having a college football red zone.
I recognize my station in the world, or my place in the American sports fans' life, and I'm very thankful for that I spend 7 hours every Sunday in people's living rooms across the nation, across the world for that matter. I take it very, very seriously, but yeah, it's been kind of a wild ride. And as for college football red zone, which is the big one that people are talking about, if Bob Iger, Jimmy Pitaro, Burt Magnuson want to hit me up, Hey, I love college every bit as much as I love pros.
Well, there's way more games, too.
There's a lot of different dynamics. If you were to do a college football red zone, okay, first of all, ESPN doesn't have the rights to every conference.
Right.
And second of all, the kickoffs are not all synchronized. Yeah, you get a good batch kicking off at noon Eastern, but they're not all synchronized. They come at different times. The games go throughout the day. And then here's the other thing. If your favorite team is the New York Giants, fine, you know the New York Giants. You can probably still name the other 31 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. If your favorite team is the Alabama Crimson Tide, you probably know the Alabama Crimson Tide, but you can't name me 30 other quarterbacks in college football. You might be able to name the rest of the SEC maybe, or maybe some of the big opponents, but so it's not, college is not quite as accessible to the frontal lobe of the American sports fan as it is in the NFL.
There you go. College football red zone, maybe. It could work.
Be fantastic. I like how he used Alabama as an example.
Alabama would be a good example. Auburn last year in the red zone.
Maybe not.
You were probably disappointed.
Maybe not.
Right?
So do y'all watch red zone for the NFL? Because, and I get we're in a unique position with our jobs. Like a college football red zone, I probably wouldn't have a whole lot of use for that, right? Because we kind of need to watch all of the games or as much of them as possible from around the SEC at least to be able to do our show every day. But for the NFL, where you don't talk about it as much, I think red zone's great because you kind of get to just get all the highlights. You don't have to watch through all the minutia. But I was just curious if y'all use that for the NFL or not, because I feel like for college football, it might not be a whole lot of use for people like us.
I use it for the NFL. When I went to the Seahawks game and they had it at Safeco, they had a little tailgate area or whatever, and on the Jumbotrons inside of Safeco, they had red zone and had everything else. It was the easy way to keep up there with all of the activities. But why not? Why would you not use that if you have that at your disposal?
Sure. That would be very exciting if we had that. Molly.
That sound means there's breaking news here on the show. For more, let's send it to Millie Robertson, who is standing by. Millie?
Thank you, Landon. The quarterback has spoken. John Mateer just released a statement on Twitter. I quote, "The allegations that I once participated in sports gambling are false. My previous Venmo descriptions did not accurately portray the transactions in question, but were instead inside jokes between me and my friends. I have never bet on sports. I understand the seriousness of the matter, but recognize that, taken out of context, those Venmo descriptions suggest otherwise. I can assure my teammates, coaches, and officials at the NCAA that I have not engaged in any sports gambling."
There's John Mateer, the starting quarterback for the Oklahoma Sooners, releasing a statement that Molly just read. So we will see if this goes any further or if it dies on the vine based on these statements.
OU undefeated. Let's do it. Let's run it back. Just like the good old days.
But, hey, no mention of the, or no apology for, hey, I'm sorry for the language that I used or anything like that.
Well, maybe he's not sorry. Maybe this is going to be his platform.
Maybe he's not sorry.
I thought that some reference would be made to the language that was in there, but I guess it was.
Well, because I agree with you. In today's society, that kind of thing is, let's be honest, people are going to view that as way worse than gambling on sports. A lot of people are, at least.
Correct.
So he's never gambled on sports.
Never.
Never ever?
Never been in an NCAA pool with his buddies.
Never.
Okay. That's bold. Very bold. I really, honestly, just like I said 2.5 hours ago, I don't think this is going to amount to anything. I think he will be the starting quarterback in week 1, and as long as he stays healthy, he'll be the quarterback to end the season. Do not think that he is going to be disciplined by the NCAA or anybody else for whatever did or did not take place, according to his Venmo. But it's the times that we live in. More from Social Taco. We've got 45 minutes to go. We'd love to hear from you. 1-800-239-WJOX, courtesy GMC text line, 205-834-9450. We're back live at Social Taco. This is three-man front on Jox, Molly, Landrum, Pat, Conrad with you until 2 o'clock. The breaking news just a few moments ago, John Mateer, the starting quarterback for the Oklahoma Sooners, he has denied any gambling on sports. That report yesterday on the internet in regards to what his Venmo memos had said in regards to betting on certain football games. He says that was just friends having fun.
Yeah.
I do the same thing. If I pay somebody on Venmo, I'd come up with some quirky thing to say why I'm paying them. It's not the real reason I'm paying them.
Gas, groceries.
No, I don't. I go more creative. Like, here's to the Landrum Roberts Statue Fund for Homewood High School.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites I go to.
The scholarship.
Yeah. The Molly Robinson I Love Nebraska Fund.
That's right. Fund my plane tickets for the fall.
Yes.
Eat more corn. Hey, how about our friends at Prize Picks? Prize Picks, you can have fun because it's the best place to win cash while watching sports. Join millions of users and sign up today. Prize Picks, the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off, which ones aren't. You can make your picks in less than 60 seconds. Turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. It's not just football season. We got professional baseball going on right now. The Braves back in action tonight, taking on the New York Mets. Winners of 4 or 5, the Braves that is, of their last series with the Marlins. They're on the road tonight. You got Spencer Strider on the bump. Alabama local, right, from Dothan?
Yes.
Holmes?
Yes.
Interesting note, a guy that has absolutely owned Spencer Strider in his career has been Brandon Nimmo. Brandon Nimmo. 0.5 hits, runs, and runs batted in. That is an easy. I'm going to go more on that one, and I'm going to go Drake Baldwin at 1.5 hits, runs batted in. Any combination of that above 1.5, you're a winner. So we're going to go more on both of those. You can be a winner as well. You can download the Prize Pick app today. Use promo code WJOX. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WJOX to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even have to win. Prize Picks, run your game all season long.
Braves winners of 4 of their last 5. Mets, meanwhile, going the other direction. They have lost 7 games in a row, 11 of their last 12. So Strider and Holmes tonight. I want to congratulate Laura Rutledge. She has been promoted to full-time to join Lisa Salters on Monday Night Football and, in turn, the 2027 Buck and Aikman-led Super Bowl booth. So they've already named her to the Super Bowl team. Peter Schrager, newly from the NFL Network, now on ESPN. He and Katie George are now going to be on the sidelines for ESPN's number 2 trio of Fowler, Riddick, and Orlovsky. So a little shakeup there on the sideline reporting. I saw this last night, and it's pretty interesting. Washington State and Oregon State, they have announced that they're going to play twice this year. Now, we've seen this in years past when I think it was Liberty. Didn't they play New Mexico a couple of years ago? Didn't they play twice?
Yeah. Is it New Mexico or New Mexico State?
Yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah. Las Cruces, Albuquerque.
It was when Freeze was there at Liberty. So Washington State is going to go to Oregon State on November the 1st, and then 29 days later, Oregon State will visit the Palouse and go to Washington State.
The Pac-12 is still alive.
Good measuring stick, I would think.
Yeah.
So if they draw, do we get a Pac-12 championship? Will they play a third time?
Why not?
I think we should.
Sure. Why not? Once again, this is the final year before the brand new Pac-12 takes over.
Yeah, make them play again.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Washington State and Oregon State, they will meet first up on the 1st of November at 7:30 p.m. And then Oregon State will take on Washington State there in Pullman, Washington. And that will be on the 29th of November.
Could they not have spread them out a little more?
Well, I guess based on the rest of their schedule, I guess.
Yeah, I guess not.
The way that it was set to go, I suppose. I guess that's the reason.
I guess not. I did, before I forget, Pat, we had we wanted to make this a special day for you because today is actually a big anniversary for you as well in the world of sports. I know you were just congratulating Laura Rutledge on her new gig, but on this day 12 years ago, you and Paul launched the Paul Feinbaum Show on ESPN.
We did.
Day of reflection.
We did. Man, 12 years. We sure did. We had been off the air for 6 months. We had to take a 6-month sabbatical because of our contract. So we were off the air for 6 months, and we had a lot of meetings in Bristol, Connecticut, and a lot of meetings in other parts of the world. And then, yep, on this date 12 years ago, we debuted the Paul Feinbaum Show on the SEC Network, ESPN Radio. Yeah. Sure did. So appreciate you bringing that up. Paul has done pretty well for himself.
I'd say.
You're
Pretty
too
well for
humble,
himself.
Pat. But yes, that was a no. Again, I know you love to share stories from the Paul Feinbaum days, and that was a very big moment. So yeah, happy 12-year anniversary. I'm sure y'all are going to have a very nice dinner this weekend to celebrate.
Well, one thing's for sure, it's a situation where we had a couple of hiccups there at the very beginning that caused us a little bit of grief that we potentially was not even going to last a week or two on the SEC network and ESPN based on some of the things that we did on the radio. So, but we survived.
Was it
At
worse
least
than what
he
John
did.
Mateer put in his Venmo memo?
No, it was just being critical of a SEC student athlete.
That's right.
Yep. We had one athletics director not too happy with us and wondered why they had hired two jack wagons like me and Paul Feinbaum to come work for Disney. That player is still playing, I think, in the NFL.
Did you just retire?
I think I thought I saw he signed on somewhere.
Oh yeah, he's floating around.
Yeah, I think he's still playing. Yeah, we were pretty critical of his performance in his team's opener, and his athletics director was not a happy individual.
He's actually currently available.
Oh, he's a free agent.
As of two days ago, they were speculating where he was going to sign.
And if you're curious who we're referring to Jadeveon Clowney.
Thank you, Pat.
And if you remember, he was coming off that incredible, was that the Outback Bowl? Where
against Michigan, where he knocked the dude's helmet off?
Where he absolutely just made the highlight film of the world. And then he comes out the first game of the next season, and it was like watching paint dry. The malaise was pretty apparent that night. So we had some fun. Like we did every other year that we've been in existence doing the radio show, and all of a sudden people are like going, wow, you can't be critical of student athletes. Not on the SEC network. No.
Well, that's changed, hasn't it? You guys were the pioneers. You broke the glass.
Well, he's still there. I'm not. So I can tell all.
Y'all pushed Clowney to turn his season around, and he ended up being the #1 overall pick anyway. So no harm, no foul.
Well, I like to think that we, just like we stopped Rich Rodriguez from getting the Alabama job, I like to think that we absolutely gave Clowney the motivation to become the #1 pick in the NFL draft.
That's right. I think motivation comes from within, but I think you guys definitely inspired him.
Yes. No question.
He was lacking motivation.
Yes.
So he needed inspiration.
And we provided that for him.
Yep. As you have so many people over their illustrious careers.
Yes.
Phil Fulmer.
Yeah, Philip Fulmer. That's another one. Yep.
Rich Rod, his wife.
Yep, Rita.
Yep.
Rita Rodriguez. Carnell Williams, not a fan of mine. That's okay. Carnell's mom, really not a fan of mine.
Mike Price's date for the evening.
Destiny.
Yep.
It's rolling, baby.
You made her famous.
Yep. Yeah. Had a few notches on the old belt.
Yeah, it's been okay.
Yeah, it's been all right.
It's been a good run.
It's been good. Earlier this morning, Auburn basketball, they announced that they're coming to Birmingham. I'm really excited about this game. This is huge. Houston, the Cougars, a Final Four team with the Auburn Tigers. They're going to be in Birmingham on November the 16th. That's a Sunday, Legacy Arena, as it's the Battleground 2K25. That is going to be the game between Houston and Auburn. So that's going to be a pretty fun weekend. That's a Sunday afternoon game in downtown Birmingham. The Tigers defeated the Cougars last year in Houston, if you remember that, at the beginning of the season, 74-69.
Just trying to see where that lines up on the football schedule.
On November 16th?
Yeah.
What games are being played on November 15th?
Yeah, so that's an Auburn off week. So that is in between Auburn, Vanderbilt, and Auburn, Mercer.
Oh, okay.
So I would think that's a good time to have it for the Auburn folks. But if you're just a basketball fan, that place will be packed out. That'll be a tough ticket.
That will be a tough ticket indeed. When we come back from Social Taco, we'll do some Pat Ponders, the worst thing I've seen. All that straight ahead on Three Man Front. It is 1:34 here on Jox. Appreciate everybody stopping by and seeing us here on the Taco Terrace here at Social Taco.
Well, like the great people up here on the Taco Terrace, you can join us to celebrate the kickoff to college football at the Bill Smith Buick GMC Jox Kickoff Party. It's Thursday, August 21st at Regions Field, and the only way to go is by winning a pair of tickets. Also today is the last day of qualifying. So, it's your last chance to enter to win a pair of tickets for you and a guest. Text the keyword GO. That's it. Just G-O and your full name to 205-834-9450. Once again, the keyword GO and your full name to 205-834-9450. Winners are drawn and notified daily. If you need more information, visit joxfm.com.
It's brought to you every single day by Courtesy GMC. Let's do some Pat Ponders.
I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind.
It's time for Pat Ponders.
Brought to you by Courtesy GMC in Trussville. Visit them online at courtesybirmingham.com. All right, question number one. The final preseason poll was released yesterday. So in your opinion, which SEC team nationally was the most underrated in the collection of all the preseason polls? Is there one team?
Underrated?
Underrated. That, in your opinion, should have been given a little bit more love than what the polls gave them.
No, if anything, I would say slightly overrated, but kind of splitting hairs there. I was thinking, well, would you consider Ole Miss? But with the questions you have a quarterback, the only thing I would say is schedule. I didn't really have a problem with any of it. Not with the SEC teams. Now Illinois is another story.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bite the bullet. I know what the text line is going to look like after this. But I mean, legitimately, I think you could make a very strong argument that Alabama should be ranked higher than they are at number 8, because that's kind of where they've been. And all of the polls is right there, like 7 or 8. And I think when you look at, you have an Oregon team that's got a new quarterback who we've seen in college not be very good. Georgia has a new quarterback. Notre Dame has a new quarterback. And I would argue that none of them are bringing back as much around the quarterback position as Alabama is. So, yeah, I think Alabama may be a little bit underrated.
I think, though, part of that, Conrad, is none of those teams are coming off of a 9-4 season where you lost to the likes of Vanderbilt and Oklahoma. It shouldn't matter.
Very fair. No, that's
But I think that there
fair.
are question marks, not necessarily about the talent level. I think there might be some question marks, uncertainty, just from a national perspective in Kalen DeBoer.
I think that's fair.
I'd probably go Clemson. I think Clemson's like my only hesitation with Penn State. I know everyone's been high on them. I can't trust Penn State. They're bound to lose at least a game or two, one that they're not supposed to lose, and they're probably going to lose to Ohio State. I just don't trust them.
All right, question number 2. Which fan base is most likely to spiral into chaos if their team underperforms again in 2025? Is it Florida, Alabama, Auburn?
It's Alabama.
Alabama.
It's, Alabama.
By a country mile.
All three fan bases will spiral, but to the degree that Alabama fans, no.
It'll be Alabama.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might go bald. Like, it would be that stressful of a season. I mean, I've already got a little bit off the top up there, and that was from last season, so I can't take another. No. It would be Alabama by a wide margin, because at least the other fan bases, not taking a shot at them, but you're kind of used to that, right? Whereas Alabama, I mean, you would be at a depth that fan base has not been in since 2006. It would be bad. Right. It would be really bad.
Okay. Unanimous. Alabama it is. Question number 3. Should the Tampa Bay Bucks follow New England's lead and erect a statue for Tom Brady?
But a better one? Yeah.
It looked a little stiff, didn't it?
Have Brady holding Lombardi trophy, but set in a boat where he's throwing the pass to Gronk.
It? Yeah.
And then have Gronk just across the way, a statue, holding beer, Arm extended.
They need to do a Tequila Tom statue where he has to be walked out,
That's a good one.
because he was super drunk.
That's a good one.
I'd pick that. Give me Tequila Tom.
They absolutely should build a statue, though. No doubt about it. He's the greatest player of all time, and he won you a Super Bowl in one of his 3 years that he was on your or part of your organization. Yeah.
So what did you guys think of that statue? Did you like it?
I didn't think it was great.
It was better than Ronaldo.
But
That is
it's better than Ronaldo.
That thing is huge. It's like Colossus.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
And maybe that's supposed to. I mean, it's not like it.
Hey,
I
we're
don't
sorry
know what
about the
I'm
way that
expect-
things ended, Tom. So we made your statue way bigger.
Yeah. What'd you think about the face? I know it's tough when you're doing a statue, but
I don't know. It's just
not handsome enough. Is that what you're saying, Landrum?
I didn't read enough to see like what
Not
year
for
did
my
they
taste.
take that from? Because his hair looks totally different the last 4 or 5 years.
I was trying to remember who I thought he looked like. You know, the statue looked like in the face. Let me look at it again. I don't know. Looks like somebody that I know, but nobody that comes to mind. That is a really big statue.
Next question. On this date back in 1994, the Fox Television Network aired its first ever NFL game. It was San Francisco versus Denver, a preseason game. Which is your favorite network to consume an NFL game?
Just
NFL?
something about NBC.
See, I was going to say NBC Sunday night.
Yeah, it's just, and it's maybe it's because of the time slot that they get, but it just feels like the most. I don't know. Like if I was to show somebody an NFL broadcast, it would be an NBC broadcast.
Yeah, I'd pick NBC.
NBC, and then after that, I go Fox.
Okay. All right, final question from Social Taco, and it's brought to you by BB. What is a basic skill that still shocks you when adults don't know how to do it, and changing a tire it's not an acceptable answer?
Yes,
I have
thank you,
one.
Pat.
This is more towards like my generation, us like newer adults, writing a check.
What?
Like filling out a check.
That's a really good answer.
You'd be surprised of how many people my age don't know how to do that.
Golly, are we calling that a skill?
They don't teach that anymore.
This is what's wrong with America.
Do they need to teach how to write a check?
A lot of people don't. I mean, I know how. I had to for
Pay
my
to
last
the order
job.
of, amount, date, memo line, signature.
Did you
It's
have to
really
take
not
like
that
home
hard.
ec in high school to learn how to write a check?
Goodness
Okay,
gracious.
example 1,000 of me being too honest. When I first moved out of college and got my first apartment in Birmingham, and I had to go open an account at Alabama Power for our electricity, I had to write a check to open the account.
And you didn't know how to do it,
And
did
I
you?
didn't know how to do it, and so I tried to do it without asking, and I did it incorrectly.
I told you.
And it was the last check in my checkbook, so I had to go and order a new checkbook, wait a couple days, and then go back and open up my Alabama Power account.
That, or like when you're actually mailing in a letter, how to fill out the envelope. You would be so surprised, you guys. I'm serious.
I don't know if this counts, but changing out wiper blades
I
on a
can't do
car.
that.
I think everybody should be able to do that.
Okay, so I'm just recapping.
I can fill out a check.
I'm not making fun. I'm just making sure that I heard this properly. Conrad said filling out a check, and you was mailing a letter.
Well, my first answer was filling out a check, but
Like
I would also put that up there.
filling
as well.
out a letter, like
Yes.
where it's going, return address,
Correct.
all that stuff.
Yes.
I was just sharing an
Windshield
embarrassing
wiper
story
blades.
about myself.
Okay, I got you.
I was just making sure I was comparing that skill to two other things.
Yeah.
That
BB, did you have something in mind when you wrote that?
BB is now
Okay.
mouthing words to
That's a
Pat.
good one. That's a good one. Yeah, because I was I was at a drive-through with my wife, and what I did, BB, is by the way, if you did not hear what BB said when she wrote that question, she was thinking of like someone giving her change somewhere, and they don't know how to actually
That's
count,
a good one.
to count.
Talk to a guy who has concession stands, and he said the young people that they have to get to work and they donate their hours had a young person in high school ask him last year
Oh, no.
if it was a nickel or a quarter.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
What I told my wife is we were at a drive-through, and it was like $13.10.
Mm-hmm.
And so I gave a $20 bill and a dime.
And a dime.
To try to make it easy for them, and it blew their mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. There you go. That's a great question.
That is a really good question.
Good question by BB as we wrapped up Pat Ponders, brought to you by Courtesy GMC in Trussville. Visit them online at courtesybirmingham.com.
We continue live from Social Taco here in Homewood in the Terrace as we continue the Tuesday edition of Three Man Front right here on Jox.
few more minutes left here at Social Taco. Appreciate everybody stopping by and seeing us. The Courtesy GMC text line will wrap up the show hearing from you at 205-834-9450.
Yeah, some of the texts going back to Tom Brady's new statue there in New England. It's 12 feet tall because of TB12.
Okay.
That
I
makes
did
sense.
not realize that. Makes sense.
Oh, it's actually 12 feet tall? That's gigantic.
It's a very, very large statue. Length and girth. Walker says, does Molly know what Yellow Pages is?
Yes, I know what the Yellow Pages are.
Bobby going back to skills that adults should be able to have in their repertoire. Using a turn signal is a basic skill that baffles me on how many people on the road don't do it.
It's a good one.
Someone asking, Pat doesn't even come up with his own Pat Ponders questions. Yes, he does. We give BB BB wrote down a bunch of questions. She brings them to us, and Pat selects one.
It's like if you ever played beer pong and one of your buddies wants a celeb shot. That's basically what BB does every day on Pat Ponders.
Pizza Larry says, filling out a job application.
Yeah.
Someone asking, how did Conrad write every check but the last and not know how?
Okay, so I responded to a couple people on the text line because a bunch of people said, well, that doesn't make any sense. And I will admit that, okay, so I was like 22 when that happened. I had my same checkbook that I'd gotten when I was 16 and my mom opened a bank account for me in high school. My mom wrote all of my checks for me until that day and time. So she would use my checkbook, and she would take it out of my account and everything. I would just say, hey, write me a check for X number of dollars, and she would do that for me. And so I never learned how to do it.
I was at the Jefferson County Satellite office. Remember, you used to have to take a check in there. You don't have to anymore, thank goodness. I write like 3 a year.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, monthly, it's all online.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the one. Oh, I think I've told you about the one. The one that frustrates me is this one particular person that I have to send dues to. She's in another state every year. And I've said, hey, what about Cash App, Venmo, whatever. And she's an older lady, and she says, I don't. I'd just like everyone to send me a check. So I got to find the checkbook, write it, stamp, mail, all that good stuff. But she'll sit on it for like 2 months
before she
and
catches
it drives me nuts.
Or deposits it.
Okay, see,
Drives
that's
me
what my
nuts.
old landlord would do is we would have to pay rent in checks, and he would cash like 3 months of rent at the same time.
Oh.
Because he wouldn't do it every month, so you always had to have like double or triple the rent in your bank account at any given moment.
Do you have to write a check for your rent?
No, mine's
automatically deducted.
Yeah, it's nice.
So when you go to the cashier's check.
Alex says wearing a belt so your pants stay pulled up. Yep. I don't know if that's a skill or just decency or out of respect for your fellow human beings that don't want to see your crack. Andrew says, I know adults that can't write in cursive.
Do they teach cursive anymore? I didn't think so.
I'd never write in cursive for any. I mean,
I
I
only
learned
write in
it. I
cursive.
just don't use it.
It's so much quicker.
Corey, to answer your question, no. It's a homeowners association. But very clever.
I was about to say, the way you were describing having to send payments to a woman out of the state annually.
Yeah.
Using discrete online methods.
Yes. If you had to use an old rotary phone, could you? Yep. That's all my grandmother had. We stayed in a hotel recently where that was the hotel room phone. It was a rotary.
Really?
Yep. Made me want to use it, to be honest with you.
Did it have a long cord?
It had a longer cord.
Like 50 feet? where like you could like go out in the hallway and talk?
Yes. It's actually it had the earpiece, and then you talked into the Sarah. Give me Mount Pilot.
Isn't that the usual like in the kitchen back when you and I were young?
We got the extra long cord
because then you could like literally take it in another room.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And parents wouldn't break down and buy the cordless phone. They finally did. We thought we were hot stuff. Posey says wearing real shoes daily, unlike Conrad and his Yeezy Crocs. Thank you, Posey.
Hey, I've worn tennis shoes 2 days in a row to start the week. Just saying.
Michael says they actually do teach cursive writing. My son learned in K-5.
Oh.
He must go to one of them fancy schools.
We read you earlier John Mateer's statement from Oklahoma. The University of Oklahoma has just released a statement. It says that OU Athletics provides ongoing education to its student athletes, coaches, and staff on matters related to sports gambling. The department utilizes ProAbet, which is an industry-standard service offering comprehensive monitoring of sports gambling activities. OU takes any allegations of gambling seriously and works closely with the NCAA in any situation of concern. OU's athletics is unaware of any NCAA investigation and has no reason to believe there is one pending. So that is OU's response to the John Mateer situation.
Thanks for joining us today. We're right back at it tomorrow. To all of you here at Social Taco, all of you out there in Jox listener land, three-man front. God is great. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.